There you go. Now we're working. There we go. Give me one more second, guys. Let me make sure I'm getting the right source. I'll be right back. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Hi. Here we go. They're load. Let's see. They bring. What the heck is happening? They're bringing him in, or they're playing some sort of video beforehand. What's happening?
And to pack our Supreme Court. My opponent and Kelly's opponent will be nothing but...
I see. He's playing ads from Purdue before he comes in. They know he's going to ramble. Good times. Excellent. So, yeah. Give me 1 minute while I need to shut some windows so this doesn't die on us. I had so many windows up just for that hour that I was on earlier. Crazy pants. There's I did not play the music for that little break. Beg your pardon. How you doing, guys? How you doing? I did not eat. Well, I did. I had a little. I didn't have a big meal or anything. I'm just done. So I ended up just I had some lentil soup. It was lovely. Let's see. That's the Fox one. Oh my God. Live. Okay. Is he working his way up there? People are going to come up and introduce him. This is the Fox intro. I am not. They're playing. This is. Are they walking up there to test his speech? Is that going to say anything, or is he just putting stuff in position? Really? Checking the mic, playing some disco as you do. Teleprompters. What the hell? I'm very excited about this. We'll check back in a minute if we can keep them from making us get a copyright strike. Hype train! Everybody, thank you for joining me. Welcome back to the second episode of the evening. This is a rarity. It's a joy, really. Trump is giving he's speaking at a rally. I don't know how much this is. The debate is his rally, or is this is it a rally to help support Loeffler and Purdue, right? And right now they're doing a helicopter flyby. Either that or they're UFOs just buzzing a field of rednecks looking for someone to anally probe. No, it's helicopters. Okay, it's safe. It's safe, rednecks. You can stay out. It's okay. Yeah, so he's going to do a buzz by. They're all super excited, guys. Super excited. It's so exciting. It's wonderful. Like, the minute they showed that, everybody was like, yes! In the chat room for this site. Okay, so I'm going to go with this version of things. This is Fox Business's feed. And by the way, it's nice getting a look at the, here's the photographers and stuff. Also, if you back up 1 second, there, Fox News. I don't want you to give it completely away. When they scanned over that way and looked at the photographers, see, scrolled, come on, bring it down. There you go. Hey, there's the school buses that everybody was brought to the rally in that will be leaving early. And this is Trump's last chance, I think, in Georgia to leave a bunch of people stranded in cold weather. So very excited to watch for this tonight. It should be, of course, all the fake news people. He'll be pointing at those people a dozen times and saying big tech a bunch of times. Save America. Find your polling place at vote.gop, which sounds completely safe. Is the .gop thing for sale, or I guess not? Okay. I didn't see, I have yet to see that. Yeah, is My Pillow's paying for the trucks this time? Let's see. COVID-19 super spreader rally. Absolutely. I mean, what could be better? Granted, though, because this is cold weather, the chance, even though the flu and other diseases spread more in cold weather because people have postnasal drip in cold weather, and it's more apt to spread the disease in any of these kind of things. There is a slight difference in this, and this obviously doesn't apply to everybody, is that there's a chance that more of these people will wear masks or scarves simply because it's cold. So there's a chance that this ends up being a safer super spreader event to be at than the ones that we normally see, simply because, hey, thanks, making music. Simply because people are wearing facial coverings because it's freezing, because it's genuinely cold. He's lost and still commanding rallies this size. He's gonna come on. Nah, this is a large GOTV thing. These are only his supporters. They don't represent the greater Republican Party. As a matter of fact, this is an increasingly tightening cult of people. So don't let the numbers upset you. It's fairly hysterical. Yeah, 32 is positively balmy to a Chicagoan. It really isn't much at all, I have to say. So we'll say, level 2 hype train already starting up. Thanks very much, guys, for your cheers and your support and all that kind of stuff. Oh, here it comes. Here comes the helicopter. They're going to start playing Lee Greenwood. What do you think? What do you think that do I dare? I'm going to get cut off if I even play an inch. What is it? Really? We're the champions? Really? Embarrassing. They'll play the funeral march. They'll play like the Darth Vader. Harm, 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 harm. Yeah. Yeah. Considering Freddie Mercury died of AIDS and most of the people here think he had it coming, it's a bit odd that they would play that. Also, they've been playing In the Air Tonight for a long time just because it's an exciting, titillating song. But it's actually Phil Collins clearly wouldn't urinate on Trump if he was on fire. But that song is about, seeing someone commit a crime and going, I wouldn't help you because you're awful. And so it's an odd song for them to choose. Yeah. Yeah. The Facebook one? Oh, did it literally crash just from that? It couldn't have. Unless we start again. Did we start again? Stream's not. Hold on. Let me turn this off and turn it back on. No, Facebook's there. You might have to, go again to the. Let's see. I close that. Go to make a new one. New tab. And open the Creator Studio. And it should be up there. It's a new one. It didn't crash. I think it's a whole new show. It's a whole new feed. And stars are back, by the way. So that's good. That we got punished, I think, for showing video that didn't have audio. I think somebody reviewed the video where I was showing people my hairdo of choice that was coming, if you'll recall. And I think they looked at it and went, "Oh, he didn't play any of the audio." So so they turned everything back on. They punished me for a whole day until they could review it, I think. So, yeah. Yeah, you have to. I started a whole new broadcast on Facebook, its own separate one. Can you sing the song? I've paid my dues, time after time. I've done my sentence, but committed no crime. And bad mistakes, I've made a few. All right, I'm gonna get I'll end up getting a copyright strike just because I sound like the real thing. I consider it a challenge before the whole human race that I've come through. I'm going to wake up the whole house. On and on. We are the champions, my friends. Although this seems like something Biden should play now every time He comes to Georgia. And we'll keep on fighting till the end. Wow, now, wow, now. Yep, you might want to make sure you're getting plenty of pictures. This is one of the last times. This poor dude. Or woman. Sorry, beg your pardon. I assumed it was male. That was wrong of me. How very sexist. I see a bun. Now I'm assuming it was that dude's ears are freezing. Look how pink that dude is. Yipe. Is he sunburned? Did he just get pulled off station in a warmer climate? Or has he just got, like, wind burned because it's so goddamn cold, but he has to wear a dress and he's got a buzz cut? That is mistreatment of Marines as far as I'm concerned. See that? Look at how red that dude's ears are. Hand job, hand job, hand job. Right out of the gate. Come on down, you guys. Come on, get out of there. Clear out. Clap, clap, clap. Very exciting. Good turnout. Everybody likes me. Yeah, they're just playing Lee Greenwood. And I proudly stand up next to you. Well, not really. And defend her still today. And by her, I mean Russia. Mother Russia. Oh, Mark Meadows is there, who is, by the way, equally guilty on the phone call, by the way. He'll have a hard time after the election's over and stuff. He's lost his job, no longer in Congress. That's got to be rough. And then, of course, there's Don Jr. filming his dad from the backside. That's his favorite view. Thanks, Dennis. Bless you. And yeah, see, this is he always forgets there's another verse, double hand job in it right out of the gate. Could not be happier. Gacked up. There'll be a lot of sniffing. He's kissing at people and pointing. We've got COVID brain and methamphetamines. What do you think? You think he's gone full Pervitin at this point? Yeah. Why no gloves? Because he just got off the thing. He'll complain about the cold at some point. This is gonna be good. And there's still... Yeah, it's still... Yeah. Yeah, it's still a rally. It's still a campaign. It's still campaigning, right? Boink. Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Clap, 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 clap. Thank you. Thank you. Double hand job. Do we get a hand job? Anybody? Come on. 1, 2, 3. Here it comes. Do it. Point and then hand job. Nope. Look out there, that crowd. Clap, clap, clap. And hand job, hand job, hand job. For that side of the crowd. That you guys get a little kind of... He's lost his kind of you know what I mean? It's like watching him do the old songs and not hit the notes anymore, you know? Okay, there we go. 3, 2, 1, 3, 2. There we go. This is going to be great. He's already a mess. And drunk. You can tell by the...
Thank you very much. Hello, Georgia. By the way, there's no way we lost Georgia. There's no way.
Yep, start right out of the gate.
That was a rigged election. But we're still fighting it, and you'll see...
Dude, you have one job. Do that and then spend the rest of the time bitching. Right out of the... There's no way we lost it. That was a rigged election. We did so much.
It's going to happen. We'll talk about it. And
yeah, of course we will.
I just want to thank you. This is some crowd. You know, Biden was here today also. They had 14 people in 3 cars. No, there was no way. And I just want to thank you. You know, I've had 2 elections.
And I've won both of them. Is that where he's going next?
I won both of them.
There you go. What did I say? Have I, honestly, that wasn't that hard. That's the low-hanging fruit of predictions, I have to say.
It's amazing. And I actually did much better on the second one.
Okay.
It's great to be back in this incredible state, the home of...
You mean that part wasn't in the teleprompter? Quelle surprise.
Hard-working patriots who believe in God, family, and country.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why even the Republicans there are pushing back against you attempting to steal the election.
Tomorrow, each of you is going to vote in one of the most important runoff elections in the history of our country. Frankly, forget about runoff. One of the most important elections, really. It's really not runoff, it's elections.
It is a runoff, dummy. What are you talking about? What?
Because it's a biggie. Our country.
Okay, all right, my bad. No, he's super orange. He's really orange. Like, he's doubling down on the orange. Come on, baby. Lay on another extra layer of mango on me. I've got to, we're getting the band back together. And by band, I mean me and that stripe of orange in the color spectrum.
The country is depending on you. The whole world is watching the people of Georgia tomorrow. And you got to swamp them because everything's so crooked around. I mean, not here. They were saying, oh, he's complaining about Georgia. No, I'm complaining about 8 different states.
Not just, it's not that you guys suck. It's that you guys are among a bunch of suck.
And I think we're going to win them all. You're going to get everyone you know. You're going to show up at the polls in record numbers. You got to swamp them. And together we're going to defeat the Democrat extremists and deliver a thundering victory to David Perdue. And where's David? We love our David. I know David so well.
Oh, boy. Yeah. I'm going to go with bourbon and Adderall.
Respected and loved by everyone, and someone that has really been a star in Washington, Kelly Loeffler. Where's Kelly?
But I love the guy, the male, the man, the good, the guy who got elected, the guy, I like the guy a lot of wherever. Where's the chick? She's here too, isn't she? Oh, good. All right.
Where is R. Kelly?
R. Kelly, he's in Chicago peeing on someone. Oh, I see.
Job you've done. Thank you. And we'll tell you about Kelly.
You're not planning on running R. Kelly as your running mate next time in 2024 because Kanye's let you down. Everyone's yelling, fight for Trump. People started yelling, fight, fight, fight. And then someone in the crowd clarified, so the RNC Mark Burnett team is there making sure.
Kelly fights for me. David fights for me. That I can tell you. And I will also say,
Yeah, only you, not the state of Georgia. That's kind of the problem.
Republicans, you have to understand, for the people that don't fight, not for me fighting for us, because we have a lot of corrupt things that happen. When they don't fight, one thing I've learned about Republicans, they have some difficulties, but you know a difficulty that they don't have? They never forget. They never forget. And people are going to find that out because we have to go, and we have to go all the way, and that's what's happening. And you watch.
All right, wait. You guys caught that, right? You guys, I just want to make sure, because this is his big selling point. He's there to promote 2 Republicans, and both.
Watch what happens over the next couple of weeks. You watch what's going to come out. Watch what's going to be revealed.
Hold on, back up. Why is it not doing it? Hold on. Listen to his description of Republicans. This is sweet.
We have to go, and we have to go all the way, and that's what's happening. And you watch what happens over the next couple of weeks. You watch what's going to come out. Watch what's going to be revealed. You watch.
Yeah, you watch any day now. Promise you. Or you know what? Let me guess. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that in the stuff to watch out for that's going to come out, there won't be a health care plan. I think one of the things also to watch for is him flying to Scotland before the inauguration and staying there. And being surprised when he has to pay to have his own plane come over and get him. Yeah, that's right. It's a good thing to watch out for. Infrastructure week. That's what I was like, oh, of course. What are we missing? You watch. A storm is coming. All shall be revealed. The Q of the Qaning, the great QAnoning will actually happen. Hold on one second. I'm going to broaden my mirror. Bring me down a little bit and over here. And then I've got a option. There it is. Quit it. Quit. What do you... Oh, I see. One. That's my... I see. My mistake. Yeah, there it is. Okay, cool. Now I've got a little more room to move. My arm was getting cut off just from normal stuff on the... Oh, here we go.
I have to tell you that the stakes of this election could not be higher. You vote tomorrow. You want to go out tomorrow. People want to go out. They don't want to do the ballot thing. They don't want to do it unless it's the other side, in which case they just print them out. They don't...
You mean vote by mail between now and tomorrow morning? You don't want to do the ballot thing? You know, these kids today, what the hell do they do? You know, it's crazy doing this ballot thing.
They don't want to do it. They want to go and vote and make sure your vote is counted. Make sure they don't let you say, I'm sorry, somebody else has already voted for you. You vote tomorrow, we'll decide.
Nobody already voted for you. Make sure that if you vote, if you've already voted by mail and you try to vote in person like he told you to, Georgia, you don't go to jail. So pretend somebody else sent in your mail-in vote and act all upset. And then when they give you a provisional ballot, just go, no, that's ridiculous. And then just leave and film a video outside the place.
Decide which party controls the United States Senate. The radical Democrats are trying to capture Georgia's Senate seats so they can wield unchecked, unrestrained, absolute power over every aspect of your lives.
That's right. Yeah. As soon as Democrats get in, we're picking outfits. It's all Star Trek. Everybody's going to get an assignment. All Republicans, of course, will have red jerseys so that when we go down to the planet's surface, they're just not coming back. I mean, we're going to control every aspect. Every dinner is broccoli. Yeah, there will be broccoli with every entree. It's a Michelle Obama thing. She dictated it at the last Eyes Wide Shut party. Boo, they're going to control every aspect of my life.
The liberal Democrats take the Senate and the White House, and they're not taking this White House. We're going to fight like hell, I'll tell you right
now. I love the idea, by the way, that they are already planning on starving him out if he decides to try and stay. They'll just turn off the power and the utilities and...
You know, I was telling Kelly before,
yeah,
you can lose, and that's acceptable. You lose, you go, and you go wherever you're going, and you go and...
Yeah, you go wherever you're going when you go, and then you get gone.
Say, maybe I'll do it again sometime, or maybe I won't.
Maybe I won't.
Or I'll get back to life.
Get back to life and just doing my thing. Sometimes you lose, and sometimes you just move on and do your thingy thing. Your thingy thing.
But when you win in a landslide and they steal it and it's rigged.
You mean like what you're trying to do with Biden?
Mm-hmm. It's not acceptable.
No, it isn't. Please leave.
Not
have fun golfing in Turnberry.
Acceptable. Then you have a country that would be run if these two don't win.
Yes, that is the plan. They will turn the power off at the White House. His staff won't be able to... Here's what happens. This is genuinely what would happen. It won't come to this. He's going to leave beforehand. It's just silly. He's already made plans. Understand this. While he's talking about this, when he just said that to that group of people, they've already informed Scotland and the area, the government of Scotland and the UK, that he's going to be flying in on or about the 19th or the day before. That they will be arriving within 24 hours of the 19th. So they've already started that plan. So he knows he's going to Turnberry on the 19th, that he's not going to be in the country on Inauguration Day at all. He's leaving the United States.
And if we don't take the presidency, you have a country that would be run by Schumer, Pelosi, and Biden. The people of...
Oh, God, not 6 years of uninterrupted job growth again.
Georgia will be at the mercy of the left-wing socialists, communists, Marxists.
Fidelists, Kabbalists, pedivore.
And that's where it's going. You know, we don't...
Yeah, it's totally going communist. Yeah, that's what we're shooting for is commie, super commie. That's why Biden keeps saying really commie things like everybody should get a fair shot. That's super commie. I mean, the outcome, it's up to you to make it. He says that too, but we'll forget that part.
Like to use the word communist. How about the press? Look at them up back there. Look at all of them. How about the press?
Oh, really? He's already going back to the cameras? Dude, what would you do without the press? What would he do if no one filmed him? Well, we're about to find out, folks. That's right. This dude is going to plan rallies and all kinds of stuff. And then this will be the order. Fox will air him talking about it. He'll have a call in. We're going to have a rally at a thing. He won't actually be there. They'll do a little bit of footsie about, is he the standard bearer for the Republican Party? So he'll go out and, try to help somebody get elected in 2022, that idea. And they'll play a little footsie with him on Fox, but he'll call in and won't be on camera. That'll be that. And then Newsmax will be the next to lose interest, then OAN. And OAN will start chasing Hawley or Don Jr. or Ivanka. Is that Ivanka back there, by the way? Or is that just the Ivanka stand-in he insists? Thank you, Cameron. Appreciate that. Welcome aboard, all our new patrons. Thank you. Boo, press. Boo, people filming me and carrying my message for free.
Oh, boy. That's a lot of press. But, they've gone silent now. They have a new thing. They used to fight me left, right? I'd go, they'd go. You'd fight. I'd win, they'd win. Who knows who wins? But people...
the truth would win. It takes a little time, but...
People would hear. Now they don't want to talk about it. Unless they...
Now they don't want to talk to me. Nobody's interested. Now that I've lost, nobody gives a shit.
They can say something bad about you. They don't want to talk about it. So if we talk about certain subjects that you've been watching over the last 6 months, all of a sudden they were getting clobbered. So they went stone cold silent. Big tech, the fake news media, they go silent anymore. They don't talk about it. And that...
Well, if they're the fake news media... Thank you, Ziggy Steinine. Ziggy Steinine? I don't know how to pronounce it, but I love it. Thank you. Thank you, Catherine. Seriously. The big tech was getting clobbered, so they went silent. So it's not their fault. Guys, it's not their fault.
Is the beginning of communism. That's exactly what happens.
That's what it is. I mean, obviously, that's what they're shooting for is communism. That's what we all want is... That's why Biden won. It was just a secret thing. He was just better at hiding his communism than Bernie was. You know what I mean? Like, Bernie really won twice, and he was cheated out of being the Democratic nominee. But the establishment true commies went for Biden. The black commies, which are the worst. You know what I mean? South Carolina black communists. I mean, am I right?
Because I think they hate our country and they despise Georgia values.
Okay, explain Georgia values to me then, please.
I think a lot of you despise them, as you know.
That is if there's a Georgia value, it's despise those that despise you. Like the good Lord said.
There's nothing the radical Democrats will not do to get power that they so desperately crave, even the outright stealing of elections.
Well, obviously there's not. There was no political assassinations. They didn't. They even the Mueller report, which we know Rod Rosenstein stopped them from looking into his money and all that kind of stuff. Once the impeachment, that vote failed, that was that. It was only him that screwed it up by calling Ukraine and trying to muscle them that got himself impeached. If he'd have just dropped it.
Like they're trying to do with us. We're not going to let it happen over the past. And I hope Mike Pence comes through for us, I have to tell you.
No, he's not going to.
I hope that our great vice president comes
will shit all over the Constitution.
Through for us. He's a great guy. Of course, if he doesn't come through, I won't like him quite as much. Now,
There you go. Loyalty. That's not one. That I was wondering what one of those, values of Georgia that they thought was,
Mike is a great guy.
Yeah, he was a great guy, or he might be a great guy. We'll find out at the end of his presidency.
He's a wonderful man and a smart man and a man that I like a lot. But he's going to
Please stop with the hard
have a
sell.
lot to say about it. And one thing with him, you're going to get
What?
straight shots. He's going to call it straight. Over the past few weeks,
You're going to get straight shots.
we've demonstrated that we won the election in a landslide. Almost 75 million people voted for me.
And yet 81 million people voted for Biden. That detail seems to...
The most of any incumbent president in the history of our country.
And Biden won more votes than any non-sitting president or candidate in history. Weird. You know what it looks like? Just from, from the back seat over here, from the sideline quarterback that I am, it looks like more people, because of mail-in voting, were able to vote this time. Due to the pandemic, the availability of mail-in voting allowed more people to vote and especially in areas which the Republican Party has intentionally tried to basically smother the vote by eliminating machines and creating long lines. That, once you don't have that problem where you have to stand in line to vote for 7 hours, the vote numbers go right through the roof. It's crazy.
We won over 11 million, close to 12 million more votes than 2016. One of the largest, actually the single largest increase in the history of our country. No person that went to a second term or went through an election where he got nearly 12 million votes. No, it never happened before.
Okay, you guys got that? Did you guys, please someone take notes of the math on this? Honestly, do I have to do all the math?
Single
was that
largest increase in the history of our country. No person that went to a second term or went through an election where he got nearly 12 million votes. No, it never happened before. Never happened before. We made historic gains among African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, and we won the largest share of non-white vote of any Republican.
Yeah, again, that's the world's tallest midget argument.
President in 60 years. We also won 18 out of 19 bellwether counties. Now, when you win just a few bellwether counties, you always win the election. We won 18 out of 19. That's a record. And they.
Yeah, it's the bellwether counties that matter. It's not really like the number of actual votes. It's the counties. You got to win, I don't know if you know this, but the Electoral College isn't even predicated on the number of state legislators in it. It's the number of really cool counties.
They said we didn't win. We won.
You didn't. You lost. You lost horribly. You lost embarrassingly. You gained more than 4 times as many votes as your loss last time, and lost by double.
Won 25 of 26 toss-up House races.
Yes, people voted a cross ticket. Republicans who can't stand you voted for Republicans.
And I think we have one that we're waiting for, right? Did you see the one in... Hello, Mike. How are you, Mike? Did you see the one in New York where
By the way, I don't know who he's talking to, but the guy's name is probably Brian.
Claudia, good woman. They keep finding votes. They keep finding votes. She's up by 18. Oh, we just found 19 votes.
He's so stuck on that win by one. If we just need one more vote, that would be so sweet.
Same kind of stuff. Democrats were projected to gain 15 House seats, and instead, and Kevin McCarthy gives us the credit. Good man, very good man.
Because if you don't give Trump credit, he will turn his crazy followers and their death threats on you.
My coattails, we swept our Republican House candidates to victory. We have a couple of great ones with us tonight. And the Democrats lost 14 seats. It was supposed to be the other way around. And when that happens, no president loses.
No president who doesn't control the House loses, except all the ones that have.
Unless they play games. You don't lose. They play games. The fact is, we won the presidential election. We won it big. And we're going to win tomorrow. We're going to win it really big. We have to. We have to. People have...
By the way, he's in the lowest turnout major county in Georgia right now. The reason that he's in this particular place is because the turnout in this county was like 29%. It was 43% in Fulton, 36 or something in Cobb. This one's like Whittington or something like that. This county that he's actually in was at 29%. They were significantly lower. So they think if they can boost turnout in this county, it will swamp the other counties, which are so far up from where they were, which is really scary for them.
I have no idea how important that is. Tonight, our mission here in Georgia is
to stay on message and not screw the pooch.
Make sure the radical left cannot rob you of your voice and your votes in Washington. You can't lose these two people. And I really know them well. They're the most respected people. They're great people.
That's not even close to true. Even amongst their colleagues, they're not the most respected. It's absurd. Like, say they're the most valuable members. They're so supportive. They're great for Georgia. There are ways to boost them without obviously making a fool of yourself.
And they really do have a voice, and they love their state, and they love their country. The Democrats are
They're both from Russia?
trying to steal the White House. You cannot let them. You just can't.
You can't let them.
The Democrats are trying to steal the White House. You cannot let them. You just can't let them steal the U.S. Senate. You can't let it happen.
So you guys write that down? You cannot let that. You got a lot of...
Free health care for illegal... Look. You can't let it happen. David and Kelly are running against the most extreme liberal candidates in the history of your state, probably in the history of our country, John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock.
Boo, other side. That's new.
Well, you know, I beat Ossoff once, running against a very fine woman, Karen, who you know, and he was at 57, and I got involved, and we drove him down to 49, and then he ended up in a runoff, and she ended up winning. Now I have to beat him a second time, and this is going to be hopefully easy, because when you know what he stands for, when you know what Warnock stands for, it really should be easy. Cast deciding votes to rubber stamp the agenda of AOC and Bernie Sanders, Crazy Bernie, Stacey Abrams. What's with this Stacey Abrams?
Yeah, tell us about Stacey Abrams. What is the deal with Stacey Abrams? Is she crazy like Bernie?
You know, your governor and your secretary of
You know, your Republicans.
state, they're petrified of Stacey Abrams. What's that all about?
What is the deal?
Did you see this consent decree they signed?
Ah, boy. All right, I'm trying not to stop as we go along too much. But all right, let me find it real quick. Give me 1 second. My profile, back to my tweets, scrolling back to here, going back down here. Remember the consent decree that they were talking about, where he on the phone call, he brings it up. You remember this? Let's see. Okay, that was yesterday. This is today. I'm scrolling back through some stuff. There's good. Okay, man, I tweet a lot. I really, really, really do. There was the consent decree is not called a consent decree. And he makes a big deal out of it in terms of it. Hold on. Okay, here it is. Oh, I'm so good. Look at this. He says on the phone call, it's called a consent decree. It's written right there at the top. You guys don't know that? And he says to Raffensperger and the other attorney, what does it say? It says consent decree right at the top. And the people on the line, the lawyer says, I think it says compromise settlement, something. I don't have it right in front of me. But he knows, he genuinely, this is what it's called. Compromise settlement, agreement, and release. That it's not a consent decree. It isn't. It's absurd. And I'm just happy that Trump is learning what the word consent means. I mean, that can be seen as progress. But this whole thing, which was, about verification. I mean, I recommend any Republican who thinks Trump knows what he's talking about or believes the line that he's selling in Georgia, go dig this up and read it. Go look up the compromise settlement agreement release, Georgia, with the Democratic Party. You'll just see it'll come up. It's Democratic Party of Georgia et al. V. Raffensperger. It's a civil action, and this is and they settled the civil case that the Democrats brought. Glass? Who gives a shit about glass? It's not called that. It's not called that. And it was never called that. It isn't called that. But he was insisting, if you'll recall, in the phone call that it was called a consent decree. Did you hear him call it the consent decree? They called it the consent decree. They called it that.
With signature verification, you can forget about it.
With signature, the consent decree, with signature verification, you can forget about it. Here it is, Section 3, signature match. We won't read the whole thing. You can read it on your own, but I'll jump in there. County registrars and absentee ballot clerks are required, upon receipt of each mail-in absentee ballot, to compare the signature or mark of the elector on the mail-in absentee ballot envelope with the signatures or marks in ENET and on the application for mail-in absentee ballot. If the signature does not appear to be valid, registrars and clerks are required to follow the procedures set forth in the offices of the Electoral Commission, Georgia, whatever. When reviewing an elector's signature on the mail-in absentee ballot envelope, the registrar clerk must compare the signature on the mail-in ballot envelope to each signature contained in such elector's voter registration record. So they got to look at all of them. They have to, if you write it in and they go, it doesn't match the one that I'm looking at, I want to look at all their signatures, because nothing's exact. These are human beings writing their signatures. These aren't computerized. These aren't a rubber stamp. So if they match all four of them and they're in the general zone of them, then you got to compare that in totality. But you have to register. And if one of them is way off, then you know it's squirrely. In ENET and the elector's signature on the application of the mail-in absentee ballot. If the registrar or absentee clerk determines that the voter signature on the mail-in ballot does not match any of the voter signatures on file on the absentee ballot, the registrar or absentee clerk must seek review from two other registrars. So they have to ask a deputy registrar or an absentee ballot clerk. Talk to them about it. A mail-in absentee ballot shall not be rejected unless a majority of the registrars, deputy registrars, or absentee ballot clerks reviewing the signature agree that the signature does not match any of the voter signatures on file in ENET or the absentee ballot application. If a determination is made the elector's signature on the mail-in absentee ballot does not match any of the voter signatures, the registrar or absentee clerk shall write the names of the three election officials who conducted the signature review across the face of the absentee ballot envelope, which shall be in addition to writing rejected and the reason for the rejection as required under the rules. Half of these are already in the rules. They just clarify them for everybody. Ta-da! There's, multiple people have to be called in. Nobody can reject yours without asking somebody else about it. So Republicans can't just wholesale throw out Turn up the video audio? All right, cool. I will try if it's necessary.
What they have done to your state, I think most people have no idea what they've done to your state. That consent decree of these two people, I don't know.
By the way,
they say they're Republicans. I really don't think they are. They can't be.
By the way, I enjoy the fighting back and forth between him and Republicans. And as much as I do enjoy that, I encourage everyone, Georgia, Republican or Democrat, independent, whatever, please go out and vote tomorrow if you haven't already. I believe in voting. If I fail because other people voted, there were more people voting than I on the other side of an issue, that's life. So you'll never find me ever discouraging anyone from voting. As a matter of fact, I think discouraging someone from voting in any sense, as long as they're legally entitled to, is spitting in the face of every veteran or family of a veteran who's suffered injury or death, protecting the rights of this country. Period. End of story. So there, yeah. But please continue with your jibber jabber.
Like if we want to have a special session, because your legislature's excellent.
He's jumped off this whole thing now.
They want to have why wouldn't they let us have a special session?
Because even if you had a special session, all it is going to be an airing of grievances. And if any candidate in a public election in Georgia can now force a special session just by bitching about it, the president in Georgia is off the hook.
If they want to check signatures in Fulton County, not in Cobb County, we didn't.
Yeah, because they checked the ones in Cobb County and it didn't win. So now they think, oh, well, do it in Fulton. That's where the other black people are.
As for Cobb County, they said, we'll do Cobb first and then we'll do Fulton. They do Cobb, then they never get to Fulton. Why wouldn't they do that? Why wouldn't they do that? That's a positive thing. Anyway,
Please go on about Kelly Loeffler and Purdue, and people have to vote for them tomorrow.
Democrats want to turn America. I'll be here in about a year and a half campaigning against your governor, I guarantee you that.
Please do.
I shouldn't say this because I just don't want you to tell anybody outside of this room other than the millions of people. No, but
the millions of people.
I endorsed him. He was in last place. And I endorsed him. He went to first place immediately, and then he won the primary, and then I gave him a couple of rallies, which I don't like doing for other people. I was telling Kelly, I don't do rallies for other people. I do them for me, right?
That's fun.
Not that easy, a crowd like this. They say over 25,000 people. Over what? Over a couple of days' notice. Is everybody glad you're here, right? I think so.
He can tell the crowd is actually starting to flag. Hold on one second. We have, there we go. Hold on one second. There we go. Okay, cool.
There is no place like a Trump rally, but you know what?
That's true, especially if you want to catch COVID.
This is a Kelly rally and a David rally, and I wouldn't do it unless I loved them both. I wouldn't do it.
Nah, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it to just come down here and air my grievances with the governor and.
But I'm going to be here in a year and a half, and I'm going to be campaigning against your governor and your crazy Secretary of State. That I could.
Please do. Good. That's fun. Go ahead. After you're no longer president, you can go anywhere you want, and you'll have a Trump, helicopter behind you or something, and that you'll rent and wrap, and then make your supporters pay for the wrapping of it, and it won't be a real paint job. Go for it.
And you have great candidates. They want to turn, the Democrats do, America into Venezuela.
Yeah, that's always been my dream as a Democrat. Ever since I first voted in In 1988, I was like, one day.
With no jobs, no prosperity, no rights, no freedom.
Oh, that part of Venezuela. I thought you meant just like, I was like, kind of the cultural things they take from Brazil, you know, like Carnival and that kind of stuff. I didn't know. Is that the goal, guys? I forget. I haven't been to the underground communist pro-Venezuela Democrat meeting in a long time.
No future for you.
Oh, we're voting for no future. How do you do that, actually? Is anybody...
You and your family. Here is exactly what the radical left will do.
Here's what Run that by me again.
For you and your family. Here is exactly what the radical...
Exactly what... He's just...
left will do if they win this runoff election, which we can't let them do tomorrow. Tomorrow's a big day. I guess we have to get over 1 million votes tomorrow, right, Kelly? Over 1 million. All right, that's a lot of votes, Kelly, but we'll do it.
I don't have that much money left. I spent it all on the ES&S machines in Kentucky so that Mitch McConnell could remain the Senate Majority Leader, and now I don't have any money left over to buy 1 million votes in Georgia.
And the one thing I know...
Oh, boy. The one thing? Oh, boy.
If they win, I'll get no credit. And if they lose, they're going to blame Trump. These people.
Okay. All right. That's the one thing he knows.
And Kelly won't let that happen. Please win tomorrow. You're going to win so big, it's going to be. Great story.
He seems so convinced. Oh my God. It is totally a please clap moment. I have seen a more cohesive and vivacious message from Jeb Bush on a bourbon bender.
It's a great story, a very important story for our country.
Yeah, remember, you know that story, that bootstrap story of that super rich girl who just so happened to be married to the guy who owns the stock exchange, getting appointed to a seat, and then in the short time she was there, being able to get some insider information so that she could, yeah, that story, I'm sure Dolly Parton's writing a musical about it right now.
Long beyond.
She was a rich girl from the Northeast, and she ended up down in Georgia, where she took all the information she got in D.C. and made a fortune. Doo-ga-doo-ga-doo.
On Georgia for our country, it's such a big story.
It's a big story. It is, isn't it? I can't wait.
They'll massively raise your taxes.
Wait a minute. Them? Stick to the... All right. You have to say Democrat. You have to reset. Otherwise, you just rambled off about her. Now they're going to think that you mean Loeffler and Purdue.
On the middle class to pay for socialism, the U.S. military, which we rebuilt. We've totally rebuilt the U.S. military, much of it coming right out of Georgia.
Oh, you mean the military votes that you don't want counted?
We built it right out of Georgia, a lot of it. You have incredible contractors in Georgia, military contractors, and they got plenty of our money. Spent $2.5 trillion. When I took over the military, it was absolutely a mess. It was depleted. Now it's the opposite of depleted. The U.S.
What is the opposite of depleted? It's undepleted.
Military will be gutted.
Look, I paid you people to elect me, and I can't lose Georgia. I dumped a shit ton of taxpayer money on this state.
Our military families across the street and all over.
Across the street? Military families, why are they across the street? You didn't let them inside?
Military will be gutted. Our military families across the street and all over the state.
Across the street and all over the state. Both. They're right over there. There's a whole...
Will be betrayed. Their benefits and opportunities will be slashed. Fort Benning, Fort Gordon, and other Georgia military institutions will be the first on the chopping block. And by the way, they'll be forced to change the names of the bases.
Oh, so they're going to get rid of the bases, but they're going to change the names of the bases to American heroes instead of Confederate heroes before shutting them down. Run that by me again. So they're currently named for Confederates, but the Democratic plan is rename them in the bill, which fully funds them. rename them, then shut them down to show those Northerners what they were doing wrong.
We're generations of American
Hey, Gonzo.
patriots trained to win 2 world wars. I don't know, Fort Benning. Let's see, give me a couple of names. I could give you some. I don't want to give them the credit, but you'll name them after other people. Fort Trump. Yeah, how about that? I like that. Yeah, let's change the name.
See, now he's for it. Never happened.
Let's change it. Kelly, let's change it. If they name it Trump, let's change it now. Now they're going to go back and say, he wants to have Fort Benning changed to Trump. What?
He does. He just said he does. He's not kidding.
They'll say, he's begging for Fort Benning to be changed to Trump. No, I don't want that. The Democrats will surrender.
No, I don't. I want Fort Bragg changed to. Oh, Gonzo, thanks. Hi.
The entire U.S. manufacturing industry to China.
I'm sorry. Is that the Democratic Party you're talking about, or Walmart?
You notice they never criticize China, right? They never It's Russia, Russia, Russia. I saw it today again. Russia, Russia. Oh, Russia. Here we go. That was another great scam. I've been involved in the 2 greatest scams in American history.
I can't argue with that. There you go. That's the quote for the night. Yes, I would agree. There you go. I mean, honestly.
A great scam. I've been involved in the 2 greatest scams in American history.
There you go. A little truth sneaks out. Sometimes he just can't stop.
The Russian hoax, and now they are trying to steal an election from us. And we won, not by a little bit, we won in numbers like nobody's seen before.
Well, they haven't seen them because they're not real. I'm sure none of us know the numbers that are fancifully dancing around your Fort Fuckface.
If Ossoff and Warnock are elected, they will immediately 3-0, and you know what's going to happen. They'll throw open.
They'll 3-open. Listen, I love when he fixes it.
Immediately 3-0, and you know what's going to happen. They'll throw open.
Yeah, they'll 3-0. They'll C3PO their way through the whole thing.
Free health care for illegal. Yeah, look.
You know what I mean? When he fixes the whole.
The Burmese executives. So this Burmese, they say, pronounce it Burmese. But to me, Corona means Italy.
Whenever he tries to back off and fix something, this is one of the more subtle ones. And I have to say, Can't Stop Lying knows this one very well as well. But you have to listen to the very tail end of it, because he royally screws up Burisma. I almost can't say it myself because of how he says it. You know, so he can't say Burisma, but he bails on it. Listen to the end of this clip. I love this one, and it's very subtle, and it never gets. Listen to this.
The company that his son worked for. That's Burisma.
That's Burisma.
The company that his son worked for. That's Burisma.
He just bails on it and lets it just go. Burisma. I mean, it's not like
Burisma.
You know, where he's really selling it. It's just this pitiful.
So we're going to
this
company that his son worked for. That's Burisma.
Burisma.
American borders that allow tens of millions of illegal immigrants.
Oh no, not illegals coming in.
Yeah, look.
All right, here we go.
To pour into our country from every corner of the globe. Your schools, your hospitals, and your communities.
Globes don't have corners. Okay.
Will be overwhelmed. And the wall. Remember, we'll build the wall. We're going to build the wall. And that's right, Mexico is paying for the wall. If I were here, they would be. Because we were going to charge them a nice fee right at the entry points. And they were paying for the wall. They paid for 28,000 troops along the wall and along the border, which we don't need so much anymore. But we built almost 5.
Wow. They were paying for it. Now they're not paying for it anymore. Even though he's still president, they weren't going to. They did. That was going to happen, but it's not happening. But the wall, yeah.
And they were paying for the wall. They paid for 28,000 troops along the wall and along the border, which we don't need so much anymore. but we built almost 500 miles of wall, and they want to
You mean 12 more than already existed?
rip down the wall. They want to.
And by the way, the 12 more isn't 12 more in a row. It's an extra like mile and a half or 800 feet at every port of entry. They just kind of built it up so you could see more of it in these red border states.
Down. That's why the numbers have been so great. But now everyone's.
Yeah, that's why. Not because there's a nationwide pandemic and we're not allowing anybody in and people don't want to come over and die.
Back up because
our cases were worse than Mexico.
They think this guy's going to win. And if he wins, it's going to be everything that they could dream of. And, you know, we want to help other people, but we can't afford to do it. We can't afford to do it.
No, we can't. We're just we're the richest country in the world, and we just can't afford. That's why we can't afford to help our own people, honestly. Listen to Kelly and David. I mean, they'll tell you.
So they're coming up now, the caravans. Remember the caravans? The caravans are starting to form. Here they come. But let's.
There aren't any caravans. What the shit are you talking? Literally, talk about just like what I got left in the sack. Hey, you kids remember this puppet, right? I got to make a balloon animal. I've only got one. I already used. That's not a balloon.
Let's keep this thing going. We have great support in Congress. We have good support in the Senate. I wouldn't say great. Could be
You're in control of the Senate right now.
better.
Well, actually, technically, they're not till, it depends on tomorrow. So, Georgia, vote.
But people will remember the people that don't support us.
Thank you, Gonzo.
If they win this race, Democrats will implement nationwide catch and release. You know what that is? You catch a criminal.
Yeah, tell us how catch and release works.
And you take his name, you say, you're released into our country. I ended it. You're released. Come back in 4 years. We're going to take you to court. So far, nobody's ever shown up. I mean, literally, they almost don't show up. And
No, they show up. Because, first of all, no violent criminals get catch and release. And people who have family where they're actually going to negotiate for citizenship or asylum, they're put on catch and release. That's the idea, that they get, if they came in because of asylum, they filled out the claim, and then they wait for their hearing, which can be a couple of years. So if they have relatives already in the country, which is why they were fleeing to the country in the first place, then they go live with those relatives and they have to come back. If they don't come back, they can't become citizens. If they don't lose their citizenship and they get kicked out, they can't apply again. And we've got their thumbprints and their iris scans and all kinds of stuff.
That's when I had the big debate with Biden. They come back for court. I said, no, they don't. I turned out to be right. Did they?
No, you didn't.
They apologize? I don't think so.
Why would they apologize? You weren't right. You were wrong. Just because you say you were right. Yeah, it turned out I was right. No, it didn't.
And turn our entire country into one giant sanctuary for criminal aliens, setting loose tens of thousands of dangerous offenders and putting MS-13 gang members straight into your children's schools. And
yeah, that. By the way, that I did vote for as a Democrat. Honestly, when Biden, came out with that as part of his education plan, where he was like, "We're going to put one MS-13 member in every school." He's sort of a walking scared straight program. They'd be on a leash in one of the hallways, and only kids that could survive getting past them could get an A in gym. I was on the fence about it, or on the wall, I suppose I should say. But then,
we've removed thousands and thousands of MS-13 gang members. And I want to thank ICE, and I want to thank Border Patrol, and I want to thank our great law enforcement. Incredible people. They're incredible.
They're incredible.
And the people that understand those values are Kelly and David. They understand.
Yeah, they totally understand those values. That's why they used insider trading information to enrich themselves while pretending they didn't know that COVID was dangerous, because it's those Georgia values.
They're those values, and you're with our law enforcement, right? That's 100%. I don't have to ask them.
I don't have to ask them if they're with law enforcement. Well, unless that law enforcement is, of course, the Treasury or the Federal Exchange Commission, and then that's different. That kind of law enforcement.
They'll allow heroin, cocaine, fentanyl, and other deadly drugs to flood across our borders again.
Yeah, that was the goal too. That was the other thing. I thought it was a little weird. That was one of Kamala's policies. Kamala Harris actually was running on a whole let fentanyl pour across the border thing. And I'm just glad that Biden saw the value of that program and decided.
And poison our youth.
Oh, that's right. The Poison Our Youth program.
Take away your health care. They'll eliminate.
Well, you have to take away the health care if you're poisoning people, because otherwise they'll get an antidote,
Private insurance. We have 180 million people that love their private insurance. You can forget about it. And
No, Biden literally ran on a public option so that people could keep their private insurance if they like it. He won. You're not running against Bernie Sanders. You lost to Joe Biden. It was before it was enough of a problem when he forgot who he was running against. Halftime it was Hillary, other halftime it was Bernie, and he was actually running against Biden, which is one of the reasons why he lost. But it's now troubling that he doesn't know who he lost to.
You'll lose your doctor. Remember, President Obama said,
oh my God.
You can keep your doctor, you can keep your plan. Guess what? He said it 28 times. That was a lie.
Yeah, you couldn't keep your doctor if your doctor was on a plan that didn't cover the ambulance ride because you would lose your house.
That was a lie. That turned out to be a big, great scam lie. And
yeah, you mean like the wall or your
remember,
economy?
I got rid of the individual mandate, the most unpopular thing in Obamacare.
You mean the thing that actually pays for people with pre-existing conditions?
Fighting a lot of different fronts, which really doesn't make it Obamacare anymore, by the way.
Yeah, it's Trump care. If it works now, it's Trump care, sure. And nothing says Trump care like a very expensive government program with no funding.
They'll resume the war on Christians and attack Catholic organizations like...
Well, I should hope so. You what?
Little Sisters of the Poor.
Yeah, they're going to attack the Little Sisters of the Poor. It's bad enough that they're poor, but they're little sisters.
They will ban voter ID. We want voter ID. Is that so much to ask?
He's really convinced that it was the fact that they didn't need an ID to check stuff. That's why he lost. By the way, I'm for a nationwide American ID, effectively a passport card. The problem they have is you have to give it to people for free, and you have to be, what is this? I lost your cat. Aw, you lost your cat. I'm so sorry. I haven't been here. It's been a rough few weeks. Wife's birthday. She was sad. I bet. Well, much love to both of you. 15 years. I'm sorry, Gonzo. We have a new cat here. He's a complete prick. If you want him, he might make up for it. Frank he's a terrible cat, but he's got promise.
An institute, universal, unsolicited, mail-in balloting in every state. They will
unsolicited. It's terrible. People don't want to vote.
Will never be. I'll tell you this: if we don't do something fast, there will never be another fair election in America.
Oh yeah, don't get me started on Colorado. Nobody has been elected legitimately in Colorado in years. They do all mail-in voting. It's obviously all a crime. They didn't ask for that. I mean, they of course elected representatives, and those representatives passed laws that made that possible in an emergency, just like every other state. And then they decided it was actually worthwhile because there's so many people who live far out that it was less expensive than creating polling stations in just the cities and having people drive an hour and a half, that they allowed people, the vast majority of the state, to be able to mail in their ballots, and then they extended that right to everybody, and then it's actually,
we're known for elections, and now we're being laughed at all over the world about this.
Well, look at the orange face and the tiny little, look at his little hands.
Last election. And you've got to swarm it tomorrow.
Yeah, be a swarm. Swarm the swamp it. Swamp and swarming them. He's Swarma. There's a shawarma place. I've never tried it.
Now, the good thing about tomorrow, it's...
Yeah, tell us the good. It's because you're in person and you can catch COVID.
One state, so you have a lot of eyeballs.
It's one state, so you have a lot of eyeballs on you.
Watching. It's tougher than when you have 50 states and they do it to various states. I've never seen anything like it. I was leading in Pennsylvania by hundreds of thousands of votes.
Oh, God. First of all, can we back up to that piece of shit, whatever those two sentences were?
They do it to various states. I've never seen anything like it. You know,
All right.
I was leading in Pennsylvania by hundreds of thousands of votes. All of a sudden, I was tied. I said, what happened?
They counted the mail-in ballots because the majority of Democrats and Republicans who didn't want to die, who weren't Trump sycophants, what you would call the never-Trumpers, didn't want to die voting against you because that kind of defeats the purpose of defeating you. So they voted by mail. And then when those votes were counted, there were more of those. Yeah.
They'll make Washington, D.C. and other liberal places the 51st, 52nd, 53rd states of the Union, guaranteeing the radical left a permanent majority in the U.S. Senate and the House and the Electoral College. It will make...
Puerto Rico and D.C., the D.C. area, which, by the way, won't get statehood. Forget about that. Puerto Rico, yeah. D.C., no. That's another conversation. It'd be better off being technically under its senatorial control under Virginia, but it's the seat of government. It's never going to break off. Sorry, there's no D.C. statehood. Sorry, it's just not going to happen. Get used to the idea. It's a ridiculous notion for it to happen. It's like giving New York statehood because it has Wall Street by itself.
Make it really...
I think my prediction tomorrow is that it's actually leaning Democratic. That's why the panic is happening. That's why Gabriel Sterling came out today and tried to encourage people to vote, because they're behind. Turnout really does matter tomorrow. It's going to be a major factor. The problem is if the turnout is enormous, it's going to lean Democratic still. But the volume of voters and the 140,000 extra voters that weren't old enough to vote on the last election but are now are largely going to go towards Ossoff and Warnock. So, and it will be a rubber stamp on that. And in a normal situation, Ossoff would have a better chance than Warnock because Warnock's was a split ticket. But since there's so much attention, whoever's voting for Ossoff is also voting for Warnock. Whoever is voting for Perdue is also voting for Loeffler. That's what's going to be the factor. If it was split either way, Loeffler would gain some of the remnant Republicans and probably beat Warnock. But if both of them are equally depressed by this dipshit statewide, there's a real shot that Ossoff and Warnock are going to win. And they're going to clamor that it was stolen.
A one-party country, and the party will be the wrong party. They will pack the Supreme Court with crazed extremists. And I'm not happy with the Supreme Court. They are not stepping up to the plate.
Well, why would they? Have you not been listening to L. Lynn Wood? Chief Justice Roberts is a pedivore baby eater, and he had to sexually assault a child at gunpoint and then blow the kid away and then give a videotape of it to someone to hold while he ruled for gay marriage. Are you not keeping up? You talk to L. Lynn Wood all the time.
They're not stepping up. How about that? We don't have... Look at the Supreme Court.
You don't have standing.
President of the United States, I want to file suit. I want to do, and they say, sir, you really can't do that. Why? So they have legal reasons, complex legal reasons. It's wrong.
It's not complicated. It's standing. You don't have standing.
If you're the President of the United States and you get defrauded out of an election, you should be able to file a suit. But we can't do that.
No. You're just another candidate. When you run for election again, you don't run as the president. You run as a campaign equal to the person you are running against. Your duties as a president don't stop, but you don't get special dispensation in an election. That is the dumbest take ever. Seriously. That is genuinely absurd. No, you don't get a leg up. That's like saying Hillary could have sued to stop you, whole cloth, from being seated as president for the exact same reason, that she didn't trust the voting machines in Wisconsin. You can pay for a recount just like any other candidate. But if once the state certifies it and you've run out of legal fights within the state, you're done, son. You don't file suits as the president. Because if you do those, it's on behalf of the United States. Well, more than half of the United States voted for Joe Biden. So that removes your standing.
They say, sir, you don't have standing. How about that?
Yes, I basically just explained that. If you want to review the tape, Mr. Trump, you can always go back. And I say Mr. because
I'm the president.
TikTok son of a...
7 states. You know, I was winning by a lot, and then all of a sudden I was losing by a little, tiny bit, just a little. They could only go so far. They had no idea we were going to do the kind of numbers, so that printing press was really moving. And they say I don't have standing to bring a suit. What?
Yeah, you don't. You not to the Supreme Court. You could bring it in. You brought it in Wisconsin. You sued for the right to do a recount. You paid for the recount like any other campaign. And you gave 89 more votes or 82 more votes to Biden. That's how it works. You have standing to do that.
What kind of a legal system is that?
It's one that functions. It's one that works. It's one that supersedes even the president of the United States and makes everybody equal under the law. It's kind of kick-ass, actually.
But the Supreme Court has let us down so far. Who knows? Maybe they'll come back.
Yeah, just give them a shot. You know what I mean? Just maybe it'll come back. You know, could be.
Maybe they'll come back. They'll pack the Supreme Court with crazed extremists. Then they'll be saying, you know, I should have done something about this. When they start having 24, 25, 26 justices, and they want to have the justices rotate to the lowest courts, so they'll rotate. These 9 justices will have a great time rotating. But they're bent on...
His audience does not know what he's talking about. And by the way, they're not being sent down to traffic court. The Supreme Court justices will not be rotated down to...
destroying our Constitution and overthrowing...
the lowest courts, whatever. I just am picturing, like, you know, Kavanaugh having, like, what do you got tonight, Cav? I got night court. Shit.
America's founding.
You want to trade? Hey, Thomas, you want to trade night court this week with me? Yeah, I'm Squee is coming over, and we're having a drink and hang.
If the left wins these Senate seats, they will abolish the Senate. You know this. The filibuster. They will knock it out. Well, I've been saying, to be honest with you, for a long time, they're going to do that. At some point, they're going to do that. And why don't we do it first? I said it.
If you let the Democrats in, they're going to do what I said we should have been doing a long time ago. And that you can't let that happen. What?
They will knock it out. Well, I've been saying, to be honest with you, for a long time, they're going to do that. At some point, they're going to do that. And why don't we do it first? I said it. If they're going to do it, you might as well do it first. And now everybody...
Okay. I mean, these are just so choice. The number of, like, just little nuggets he's giving tonight. Do not let these Democrats take a seat in the Senate because they will do quicker what I've said we should have done before than the people that I'm saying you should put in there to stop them from doing what I say they should do. Holy shit.
Everybody said you were right. But you know what? I want to be wrong because I want these...
Oh, people were saying, you're right, but I want to be wrong because what?
We'll do it first. And now everybody said you were right. But you know what? I want to be wrong because I want these 2 to win because if they win, we don't want to do it. It's a bad thing.
It's a principled thing getting rid of the filibuster unless we have control of it, in which case we would want to have it to push back. I don't know what he's saying, because if they win, they have control, so the filibuster is something that's used against them. They've got control of shit. What are you talking about? This is so good. Listen to that again. Listen, wrap your head around what is being said.
And at some point, they're going to do that, and why don't we do it first? I said it. If they're going to do it, you might as well do it first. And now everybody said you were right. But you know what? I want to be wrong because I want these 2 to win because if they win, we don't want to do it. It's a bad thing for our country.
Everybody, what the shit am I clapping for? What? Honestly. All right. One more time all the way through. That is so good. Lord.
Founding. If the left wins these Senate seats,
If they winsies, if they get winsies and not losies.
America's founding. If the left wins these Senate seats, they will abolish the Senate. You know this. The filibuster. They will knock it out. Well, I've been saying, to be honest with you, for a long time, they're going to do that. At some point, they're going to do that. And why don't we do it first? I said it. If they're going to do it, you might as well do it first. And now everybody said, you were right. But you know what? I want to be wrong because I want these two to win, because if they win, we don't want to do it. It's a bad thing for our country. But that...
What? What? What is that? I mean, look, I tried not to interrupt it and let it run all the way through, like all the way. But oh my God, that's pathetic. Because if loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right.
I would give them the power to ram through every diluted piece of left-wing legislation that they've ever wanted, that they've ever dreamt of.
What? The filibuster stops things, dummy.
Religious liberal.
But now he doesn't, but he wants them to win. All right, he doesn't, all right. All right, I don't, honest to God, I'm trying to wrap my head around which way he thinks the filibuster goes. He wants to keep the filibuster so that when they retain control, it will keep the Democrats from being able to force through whatever they want. But he wants, if they lose, he wants to get rid of it because he's been saying they should get rid of it, because if the Democrats take control, they'll be able to use the filibuster to force through the, what the?
Liberty will be gone. Your Second Amendment will be gone. Your borders and Great New Wall will be gone. Your police departments will be gone as we know them, and your life savings will be gone.
Yeah, it's pretty much it. I mean, honestly, that's that. If there's, I don't think I've ever seen anybody sum up democracy better.
Will be like a large
Fort Small Hands. You know it's going to be nicknamed that. Like if he ever gets a base named after him. Where are you? Are you at Fort Mango Diarrhea? Where are you?
large scale.
I'm at Fort Small Hands. You're at Fort Sniffs, right? Yeah.
Version of so many other countries that you look at that are poverty. America, as you
What was that sentence again?
savings will be gone, will be like a large-scale version of so many other countries that you look at that are poverty.
Well, what? Honestly, how are these sentences? What? What the hell?
America, as you know it, will be over, and it will never, I believe, be able to come back again. It'll be too.
That's right. The land and the king are one. If the king dies, the land dies. This isn't a cult or anything. Yeah, Americans just won't be able. 74 million Americans voted for him, but they'll just, you guys will just be too weak to run for smaller office and use the powers of democracy or whatever.
Vote tomorrow could lose, and it could be your.
Oh boy.
Your vote tomorrow could lose, and it could be your last chance to save the America that we love. That's why I'm here.
Oh God.
Your vote tomorrow could lose.
That's true.
And it could be your last chance to save the America that we love. That's why I'm here. I don't want to do rallies for other people. I told you.
Jesus Christ. Good God.
That we love. That's why I'm here. I don't want to do rallies for other people. I told you.
Thank you, Beverly. Holy smokes. Look at this pathetic whining. I told you. I didn't want to do it for other people. It's all about me. I'm
here because of that. Because of David and Kelly. The far left wants to destroy our country, demolish our history, and erase everything that we hold dear.
The Confederacy?
This could be the most important vote you will ever cast for the rest of your life. It really could be.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, what do you got? I mean, you're all going to get COVID tonight, so you probably won't even live to vote in 2022, and you're not going to take the vaccine, even though he's supposedly came up with it and wants credit for it. All of his followers are going to be the ones who won't take it. So in the next illness cycle, where a new version of it works its way in, you're going to be the people who die first from it, and we'll be seeing videos of you next fall going, "I thought it was just the flu," and dying.
So important. I mean, think of it. It's so important. It's amazing, actually, that in one state you have two races simultaneously.
It's crazy. How does this even happen? It's great because I don't have to travel to two places I don't give a shit about.
Like a thing like that's ever happened before.
Yeah, it's happened before.
If you don't show up, the radical Democrats will win. A lot of people say, "Oh, well, Trump, maybe he wants it that way." No. You know what I
Yeah, that's what they say. Maybe he wants the radical. A lot of people say Trump wants the radical Dems to win. Really?
I want a great country. I want these two very special people to be elected. And I want to be clear, if those of you that know how badly screwed we got, I want
to... Yep, that's just for the record. Trump was screwed by 6 volunteers in 5 cities.
Be clear that we can't let that happen again. We can't let that happen again. We're going to come back, and I really believe we're going to take what they did to us on November 3rd. We're going to take it back. But these two people, they can't go through this. They can't go through it.
Yeah, he just realized he lost. Look at that. See his face right now?
If you don't go and vote, the socialists, the Marxists will be in charge of our country. If you don't...
You forgot to say communist. Say socialist, Marxist, communist, pinko scumbag, MS-13, Mexican drug-dealing rapists. I mean, get it all in while you're at it.
Fight to save your country with everything you have. You're not going to have a country left.
Yeah, Leninists. That's good. How come they're not doing... How come he refuses to say Leninists?
I love this state. This state's been very good to me. We've had a lot of victories in this state. Just had one on November 3rd, actually.
No, you didn't.
And I love the people of this state. We can't let that happen. The damage they do will be permanent and will be irreversible.
Oh, both. Permanent and irreversible? Well, now that you put it that way.
Can't let it happen. Nothing and no one will be able to stop them. These senators.
That's right. The all-powerful. What was that? Sorry? I'm scrolling back to one of the folks that's in there. Land-based users. Oh, that's right. Oh, no.
The seats are truly the last line of defense. Now, I must preface that by saying, because they'll say, he just conceded. No, I don't concede. So, Kelly, if I might add, I think we're going to win, in which case we'll be the last line of defense. It's called veto, 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 veto.
Veto, your veto got overridden. You did your first veto, and it didn't work, did it? Got that word stuck in your head? Tell us the story. Do you think he's going to go there?
So tomorrow you must get...
Nope. No, that's that. Oh, coward. Oh, I'm very disappointed. I'm very disappointed. Come on, dude. Yeah, you said veto 4 times, which, unless you're auditioning for a Francis Ford Coppola movie, makes no sense. If you're not going to bring up the fact that your NDAA vote was overridden by the Congress and the Senate, and I wanted to hear you gripe about how we actually, you didn't even tell us that you actually got it passed and you actually wanted it to pass, but this was, if you really think about it, having his veto overridden was part of what we really wanted, because it's what I told them we wanted to do, but we don't want to do it because these two will do it for us.
Get out and vote for David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler. Over the last 4 years, David Perdue has been one of our greatest allies and strongest defenders in Washington. He's a great gentleman. David was a critical vote in the right to pass the largest package of tax cuts and reforms in American history. We did that together.
By the way, it wasn't the largest tax cuts or reforms in American history.
We got it done, launching an incredible economic boom. The greatest tax cuts in the history of our country. Think of
Not even close. I mean, think of it. All right, I'm thinking of it. It's not.
it. And the greatest.
They weren't the biggest. They weren't the greatest. They weren't. They just simply weren't. Like he says they are, like people can't look it up.
Restrictions. We were so restricted we couldn't breathe in this country. That's one of the.
Oh, that's what it was. You guys thought it was pollution, and all the time it was really just regulations.
I think it might have been more important in many ways than the tax cuts. You would know that, being one of the great businessmen of our world, right? I think it was maybe more important.
Yes, David Perdue is one of the best, the greatest businessmen of our world, which is why he can make money without needing the assistance of insider trading.
When Georgia needed a strong voice in Washington after Hurricane Michael, remember Hurricane Michael? And I was down here with David. But David Perdue led the charge to get the
You think he's going to do the, he was calling me. All right, I don't want to call him story.
and farmers of your state the relief you deserved. He said, "Sir, can we get $1 billion?" And I said, "We're going to get it, David," and we got it very fast. And there was no mechanism to get it. You got hit with a hurricane, like you have never seen before. It came in from a location that is just very unique. It was a horrible thing. I was here for a long time with David, and he worked, and his kin, the great Sonny Perdue, our Department of Agriculture, our Secretary of Agriculture was fantastic also. But we worked very hard, and we got the farmers and the businesses the money that they had to have, and now they're thriving. David has also been one of the most...
What is he talking about? So hurricane like nobody's ever seen that came into the whole trial of what?
Courageous advocates fighting for an immigration system that defends American workers, American wages, American families, and American jobs. He led the effort.
You mean the comprehensive immigration bill that if Mitch brought it to the floor would pass?
In Congress to build the wall. That's right. And Kelly helped on that. She's a little bit newer to the Senate, but she helped a lot. Those last moments, you were there. Without you.
Yeah, she was there. She did some finishing touches. It was just like, it was like on HGTV. Like she just came in and helped us, he helped build the wall and did all the demo with his guy friends and a mallet like David Perdue does. And then Kelly came in and she put little plants everywhere and chose the paper scheme. It was wonderful.
It wouldn't have happened, actually. Crack down on deadly sanctuary cities, end chain migration, and institute unparalleled protection.
Instituted what, sorry?
Cities, end chain migration, and institute unparalleled protection.
Unparalleled, I think is the word he was trying to say.
Cities, end chain migration, and institute unparalleled protection for
unparalleled.
Cities, end chain migration, and institute unparalleled protection for our great citizens. He fought to help us replace NAFTA disaster with the brand new USMCA. They said it couldn't be done. A giant victory for Georgia, for workers and for farmers all over our country. NAFTA was the worst trade deal probably ever signed. And that maybe has to exclude some of the crazy deals and things they did with China. He voted to confirm nearly...
You mean your phase 1 deal that you've delayed the COVID response so you could get it signed?
300 federal judges. We have a record on federal judges and 3 Supreme Court justices.
Because Mitch McConnell refused to let Obama seat the ones while he was in office and intentionally let those seats vacant. It's not like you ran faster or jumped higher than anyone. Why does he consider that like a pat himself on the back? Yeah, Yeah, I was able to fill these vacancies that Mitch left for me.
which is a tremendous thing. We have almost 300 federal judges committed to interpreting our Constitution as written.
Yeah, and a bunch of them have ruled against you. In Wisconsin, on the 3-panel judge that told you to go pound sand, it was the Trump appointee of the 3 conservatives that were, appointees that were on the panel that wrote the decision that said, piss off.
No one fights harder for the people of Georgia than David Perdue, David's opponent.
Actually, nearly everyone fights harder for the people of Georgia than David Perdue.
Jon Ossoff is an unhinged radical leftist. He's not a senator. He's not a senator. That's not a senator. Ossoff said that
That's not a sen. He's not a senator. That's not a senator. He's running to be in the Senate. He doesn't look like a senator. He looks like a kid. These kids, he can't be a senator.
he's very proud to be endorsed by socialist crazy Bernie Sanders. He's weak on China. He promoted Chinese propaganda, and then he failed.
Okay, good. All right, listen. This whole thing. No, wait 1 second. I don't know why I can't pause this in the restream chat. Quit it for a second. All right, hold on. 1 second. Hold on 1 second. And here. Let's see. Spam. Done. Block. Done. Here we go. Hi. Sorry, I had to get rid of a spammer.
To disclose it.
I'm getting up into the numbers where my algorithm attracts spammers, and I don't know. There's no way of blocking people who try to put in links and stuff like that on Facebook yet.
His business ties to the Chinese Communist Party. Other than that, he's a wonderful guy, right? Ossoff supports the largest tax hike in American history. If they get in,
Tell us what happens if they get in. They're going to get rid of the filibuster, which they should.
Warnock and Ossoff, if they get in, you're going to have the largest tax increase that you've ever had. It'll be the largest tax increase in the history of our country. For what? The Green New Deal. Let's rip down a building because its windows are too big. Let's build a building with no windows, among many other things. He supports.
At some point we have to dig into the building just to make the windows smaller story.
The insane Green New Deal, which would crush middle-class parents trying to raise a family. He will.
Would it? Under what? Under the weight of carbon?
Support the socialist takeover of American health care, which will lead to rationing, poverty, and death.
Thank God we don't have that right now, where we're having to, ration the vaccine to a limited number of people because we don't have enough of it, and poor people not being able to afford food and starving and I forgot for a moment we're living in Biden's America, and we have been for the last 4 years. My mistake.
The radical left-wing crusade to defund police. The last summer, he proudly joined the anti-police mob. He didn't like the police. He doesn't like our police. We love our police.
He doesn't like the police. Really? Do you? Then what was wrong with them kicking in the door of Paul Manafort when he was destroying evidence? And Roger Stone? Those are jackbooted thugs. I'm sorry.
Slandering our brave men and women in blue. If you vote for Jon Ossoff, he will attack our heroes. He will destroy our economy. And he will betray you and your family, and it'll happen very quickly.
Oh, well, I would hate to wait. That's one of the terrible things about someone slandering our heroes, destroying our economy, and attacking families, is that, can you get on with it? Because I've got appointments. Really? Hold on. Let's see. Okay.
That's why you must vote. And really importantly, get out tomorrow, vote for David Perdue. He's a great gentleman. He loves you.
He does. He loves you. David Perdue loves you, everyone. It's not just business for him. He's giving you the the boyfriend experience as a senator, It's not enough.
Georgia has another fantastic champion in Senator Kelly Loeffler. Kelly is a staunch defender of our
Read it.
incredible military. I'm so proud of our military. She supports the wall.
You're talking about her. Nobody gives a shit about you. Sell her, then go back to selling you. They say she loves the military more than anybody. Of course, not more than me, but let's be clear about that.
And she always stands with the heroes of law enforcement, ICE, and Border Patrol.
As long as they don't work for the Treasury or the Federal Exchange Commission or the IRS.
I hated it, Kelly, when we got ballots in from the military with Trump all over it, and they got thrown into a river. You saw that?
Nobody saw that. That never happened. That's just goofy. What are you talking about? Thrown into a river. We've been through this nonsense a bunch of times, but it was a sad thing for him to watch in his frigging head.
Threw ballots into a river from the military with my name all over. We want Trump. Boom, goes into the river.
Okay, I know. Yeah, moon. What river was it? What river did they throw them in? Hold on. It's in here. Hold on. I rearranged my sound thing, so. Moon River. They got set back into the. How did it happen?
And they got thrown into when we got ballots in from the military with Trump all over it, and they got thrown into a river. You saw that? They threw ballots into a river from the military with my name all over. We want Trump. Boom, goes into the river. That was just one of many instances of problem. Kelly is also a committed protector of your Second Amendment rights.
Here's the thing. Didn't actually happen. I mean, I know that doesn't matter for a lot of Trump supporters. But again, let's say your entire plan is to make people believe you were cheated out of the election, right? And that there were a bunch of situations where votes were stolen from you. Listen to me now. Listen and hear me now. Hear me now. Let's say that, right? That's your goal. That it wasn't just one little thing or a couple of little votes. It was rampant. It was all over. Right? This is part of your sales strategy. Am I right? Okay, you're following me on this. You got me. Then you hear a story that 9 votes were set aside by a volunteer from military voters, and that 7 of them were for Trump and 2 of them were for Biden or Joe Jorgensen or something, and that person eventually, I mean, it kind of screws the story that they found them. Those were absolutely counted. Otherwise, you wouldn't have known who they were for because they were found. But that person just set them aside because they didn't look like military ballots. They looked like they came in with the military ballots and were the wrong envelopes and that kind of stuff. So they were set aside for somebody to look at. That person was relieved. They were a volunteer. That's a story. That's one thing. So you almost lost 7 military votes in that situation. If somebody with an eagle eye hadn't seen them, you'd have lost those votes and could have happened elsewhere. That's your argument for that case, that situation. The other one was, there was a guy, a mailman, who, granted, was in a Democratic area and was a Trump supporter, threw out all of his mail that also included some ballots, allegedly, in the initial story. He just didn't want to do his work that day, so he threw all the mail out and then acted like it had all been delivered. He was later, of course, fired and arrested, but you've got that story. Those were thrown in a ditch. And you said it was a river, but, river, ditch, one man's ditch is another man's river, right? You're making that case. Instead of taking the idea that you have 2 cases, this is in one state, this is happening in another state, this is happening in every state, we got to keep track of this, and allowing your supporters to believe there are multiple examples of places where voters are being disenfranchised. Instead of doing that, what you do is, like a dumbass, conflate all of those stories into one. Military ballots got thrown in a river. Boom, in a river. Instead of now you've got one incident that was obviously found and supposedly were Trump votes. So clearly they were counted, or you wouldn't have known they were Trump votes. So the system worked and protected the votes. And you have one instance where you're complaining about that when you could have had 2 or 3 to, he keeps squishing the details into one instant.
With Kelly's vote, we confirmed our third new Supreme Court Justice, Amy Coney Barrett,
who voted against you on that one-sentence rebuke of your case. How does that feel?
Working with David, Kelly helped rescue the U.S. economy from the China virus, passing nearly $4 trillion in economic relief, saving over 1.5 million Georgia jobs, and rescuing countless small businesses all across your state, businesses that now are doing really well. And, you know, we also came up with a vaccine. Nobody else would have done that. They would have done that in 10 years. Kelly and David also both strongly
The H1N1 vaccine happened in less than 6 months.
support my efforts to provide $2,000 stimulus checks to hardworking Americans across Georgia.
Yeah, that was the Democratic idea all along, and it was Republicans who cut it down because they were talking to Steve Mnuchin, and he was the one who was saying $600.
And across the nation. And my reasoning is simple. I mean, we're conservative with money, but my reasoning is simple.
I need to buy votes from people after the election, and it's not my money anymore, and it'll ultimately, because of the timing, go onto Biden's budget.
You didn't cause this problem. This problem was caused by China. Kelly is running.
No, you let it in. Again, if you're mayor of a town, and over the hill is a prison, and in the prison, either because the guards let the guy out or because he snuck out on his own, a serial killer escapes, and then the serial killer comes to the town, starts killing people, and you pretend the serial killer isn't there and it's no big deal and you'll handle it, and then you tell your cops to go do other shit while the serial killer is killing people, and then you specifically deny police and firefighters and EMTs and what have you to the parts of town where the serial killer is doing his worst because those people won't kiss your ass because they're a little mad because there's a serial killer running around the neighborhood. It's no longer the guard's fault. See what I'm saying?
Against a hard left extremist named Raphael Warnock. Warnock is the most radical and dangerous left-wing candidate ever to seek this office, and certainly in the state of Georgia, and he does not have your values. Warnock is
No, have you seen him? He's a Christian minister. Ick.
publicly declared his support for socialism, and he once welcomed the anti-American communist dictator Fidel Castro to his church. He wanted him here.
Oh my God. People were welcomed into a church? Wait a minute. Someone is welcoming an atheist into their church to hear the sermon? Huh?
He liked Castro. I thought Castro was a nice guy.
Yeah, that was his whole thing. Castro's a nice guy. Honestly.
Warnock said that, quote, nobody can serve both God and the military, a vicious smear against thousands of patriotic service members across the state of Georgia. He wants to.
Well, it's if you're a Christian purist, that's a little bit rough, but I understand. Hold on one second. I'm going to grab something real quick. I'm just going to look something up if I may, just while okay. Warnock, Fidel Castro. There we go. Loeffler tries to link. There we go. Atlanta Journal Now. Let's see. Tries to link Warnock to Cuban dictator. Democratic Senate candidate Raphael Warnock, quote, celebrated Fidel Castro and welcomed to church in 1995. This is Kelly Loeffler on Twitter, November 11th. On October 22nd, 1995, Cuban President Fidel Castro spoke to a crowd at Abyssinian Baptist Church in New York City, the Harlem Church, where the Reverend Raphael Warnock was a 26-year-old youth pastor. PolitiFact and other news outlets have reported there is no evidence Warnock was involved in arranging Castro's appearance or welcoming him. A Fox News report quoted Warnock campaign spokesman Terrence Clark. 25 years ago, Warnock was a youth pastor and was not involved in any decisions at that time. Senator Kelly Loeffler links to the Fox News report in her tweet. According to Warnock's campaign in 1995 news reports, the event, Warnock was not on the dais of the church leadership, and Castro, before the late communist leader made his speech. Warnock's campaign has not said whether he attended the event, according to a PolitiFact report. In November 15th interview with CNN's Jake Tapper, Warnock said he never met the Cuban dictator. I did not make any decisions regarding the program. I never met the Cuban dictator, and so I'm not connected with him, Warnock said. I thought he welcomed him. I thought he was a nice guy. This doesn't sound like he thinks he's a nice guy. Why is it that? At the time of the event, Associated Press report that Castro's appearance was coordinated by the Interreligious Foundation for Community Organizing, founded in '67. The IFCO's stated mission is to support the poor and disenfranchised in developing and sustaining community organizations to fight human and civil rights injustices. In '95, the IFCO advocated for the U.S. to lift its embargo on Cuba. The Reverend Calvin Butts, still the pastor of Absinian, spoke at the event and welcomed Castro before his speech. Since her initial tweet, Loeffler has leaned into her claim that Warnock is linked to Castro. Her campaign has included the claim in an ad that has aired nearly 2,000 times and cost $1 million. Fact-checked out, reported using data from advertising analytics. Her campaign repeated the claim on social media and elsewhere. She also said again that Warnock, quote, celebrated Fidel Castro in his church at November rally with Senator Marco Rubio of Florida, according to Washington Post. Castro trended on Twitter. The clip is less than 90 seconds long, while the service itself... Oh, wait, hold on. He also described Castro's legacy as... Warnock asked his congregation to pray for the people of Cuba after Castro's death. He also describes Castro's legacy as complex, kind of like America's legacy is complex. That sounds pretty atheist commie to me. Pray for the people of Cuba. Pfft. Why don't you just move them all in here? The clip is 90 seconds long, so I'm guessing in the 2-hour service, there might have been other stuff that made it contextually not sound as bad. But okay, prior to that moment highlighted on Twitter, Warnock spoke at length about the United States history of mass incarceration. He asked those in the congregation who knew an incarcerated person to come and stand at the altar. In context, his brief mention of Castro juxtaposed American outrage over political prisoners in Cuba with a lack of outrage at the issue of racial disparities in prison sentences in the United States. There you go. So, yeah, so he obviously thought he was a nice guy and celebrated in a situation where he wasn't present.
Cash bail, you see how that's working in New York City, right? Not working too well. He has called for, quote, opening up the jails, and he slandered our police officers as gangsters, thugs, and bullies. The choice for the voters of Georgia could not be more clear. John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock are fringe extremists who would wreck everything Georgia patriots hold dear to their hearts.
Yeah, no peach cobbler, no CNN headquarters.
Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue share your values.
Serial killer Donald Trump can be compared to Charles Ng Delay. Hold on, that's delay. Mars, Maga, Schmaga.
And you know that they share.
Oh boy.
Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue share your values. And you know that.
They do share the valley with you guys. They love your valley, and they'd love to show their appreciation for your valley.
Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue share your values, and you know.
Oh, yeah, they do.
That they share your values like nobody shares your values.
Yeah, like nobody does. Not people in South Carolina, not your family. They share your values. Like, I mean, honestly, what member of your family wouldn't choose not to tell you about a disease that might kill you so that they can make more money off the stock market? I mean, honestly.
I can tell you they share your values.
But like, do they have those values? You know those values. Which values are those? Come on. What values are there? We've been waiting. Please tell me which values you're talking about. So what, Jesus and Second Amendment?
They want to defend your interests. And they will always put America first. Did you see the other day? What a great name, America First. They announced they don't want to do the America First policy. How crazy. Even if you're not going to do it, which is basically protect us, we come first, right? But even, and that includes financially and every other way, even if you don't believe it, you don't say we're going to end America first.
Yeah, you do. Because it's a bumper sticker. It's not based on real policy. Loeffler and Perdue weren't doing America first. They were screwing the voters of Georgia for their own financial gain. They were letting them walk into a pandemic unprotected for months so that they could make money off the inside information that they had.
They want
Where is the America First in that?
to end America first. Kelly, I'd love you to just come up and say a few words. Would that be okay? Kelly.
Let me touch the mic real quick. Because while I have had COVID and it's gone, at least I can probably still give you syphilis from here. Is she 6'3" as well?
Thank you, Georgia. I have an announcement, Georgia. On January 6th, I will object to the Electoral College vote. That's right. That's right. Thank you. We're going to get this done. All right, Georgia, but I have a very important question for you. Are you ready to show America that Georgia's a red state?
I've got a red jacket.
That's right.
Are you ready to show them we're a red state, as in our budget is completely in the red?
Right. That's right. Look, this president fought for us. We're fighting for him. He put America first. He put the American worker first. Thank you, Mr. President.
That's true. I don't know if you know that. It's true.
He
You said
stood
that.
with our men and women of law enforcement. He restored our military. My opponent, radical liberal Raphael Warnock, he attacked our police, our military.
He's a wife beater. He's got no
Spoke
children.
out against Israel,
black.
evangelicals, small businesses.
You mean by being a Baptist?
Georgia, we have to hold the line. You have to get out and vote tomorrow. Georgia.
No. Something's up. They're concerned.
We are the firewall to socialism.
He is looking at her
We
butt every
have
so
to
often.
get it done. I love you guys. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Georgia.
She's like Laura Dern's stunt double. Why does she have bigger hands than he does? Look at that. Look at her hand. Look at that. Look at that. Look at her hand. Look at his hand. Look at her hand. I mean,
Thank you. Thank you, Kelly. That was nice. I'm glad I invited her up. Kelly, I'm glad I invited you up. That was great.
you said nice things about me.
Thank you, darling.
They're yelling, "Stop the steal."
That was so great.
Yeah, it was totally good. It was so good and short. Lock her up and then fight for Trump.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, it really is. It's fight for our country. It's really fight for our country, not fight
Yeah,
for
that's
Trump.
what it
It's
is.
fight
I mean, basically, it's not fight for Trump. It's fight for our country because, Trump and the country are one.
for our country, because that's what we're fighting for. Also joining us tonight are Georgia representatives Marjorie Taylor Greene. I love Marjorie Taylor.
QAnon. I don't know who they want to lock up. They were just yelling
Up
it.
here. Kelly wants you to come up here. Come here.
Yeah, tell them something, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Tell them a storm is coming and yell, "Where we go one, we go all." Let's do it. And there's Kimberly Guilfoyle yelling at Mark Meadows back there, by the way, so you might want to keep an eye on them.
Don't mess with her. Don't mess with her.
I really want a mic on those two back there. That's, we need to, yeah.
Hello, Northwest Georgia.
Yeah,
All right, let me tell you something. I'm
Oh boy, this is going to be good.
so fired up to hear Senator Kelly Loeffler. She's going to object on January 6th. Yeah.
January. All right.
Yeah.
Spit your gum out. You're talking in front of the president. He's gonna come on down here. This ain't gum. This is Red Man.
This is why I believe in her. You see, when you have a strong Senator, Kelly Loeffler from Georgia, fighting for you and fighting for your president and protecting your vote, this is why you have to turn out tomorrow, right?
Like a bunch of hookers.
Yes. We have to save our Senate seats. We have to
Yeah, it's whatever.
save America and stop socialism.
Save America, stop socialism, save our Senate. That's a lot of S's, people.
This is the last line. We aren't going to hand over our Senate seats to a pastor who preaches abortion from the pulpit.
It doesn't. Those must be some wild sermons.
No.
No.
He's preaching murder of God's creation in the womb. Holding a Bible.
look at Trump. Like, I don't know. I paid for like 6 abortions over time.
In his hand. If anything, go out there and vote for the unborn
If anything, go out there and have a baby in the voting booth.
tomorrow. Right? We've
Vote for the unborn, like the children of the kids, the babies in the wombs of the kids that were dropped off on the Mexican side of the border. Like 8,000 of them, about half of them are girls. They've clearly all been sexually assaulted by now.
We've had enough. We're not going to let Georgia go to 2 radical socialists.
No, you're not. You're just going to vote for Ossoff and Warnock.
I need you all to go out there and vote. Our district has to show up. We've got to stop this attack, stop our Senate seats from being handed over to these radicals, and we're going to fight for President Trump on January 6th.
Now with that,
God bless Georgia. God bless America.
I'm very disappointed she doesn't have a cigarette just dangling out of her mouth right now. I mean, I feel like that's a missed opportunity, just dangling. You know what I mean? This and these sons of bitches.
Let's do this.
Good job talking for such a short person. Anybody notice that there's a lot of redcoats in this crowd? All right.
I also want to introduce 2 great warriors, friends of mine, Andrew Clyde and Jody Heiss. Jody, thank you. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you very much. Great job.
Yeah, you guys don't get to come up, though. Screw that.
We have another friend of ours, South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham.
Yeah, bring Lindsey up. Let's hear it, Lindsey. Somebody booed.
And Mike Lee is here too, but I'm a little angry at him today. Where's Mike Lee? Where is he? I'm a little angry at you today, but that's all. State Representative
Because Mike Lee isn't joining the... All right.
Vernon Jones, what a great guy he is. A great man. And an early supporter of mine who's also on the ballot tomorrow, Public Service Commissioner Bubba McDonald. Bubba.
Really? Bubba McDonald? That's it. That's running. We're running. That's the Democrat. Like, okay.
Good. You're going to do great.
Yeah, you're going to do great, Bubba.
Great guy. Thank you, Bubba. Thank you.
Thank you, Bubba. 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 Bubba.
Tomorrow. You'll do well.
They are chanting Bubba in Georgia. I mean, honestly.
Georgia Republican Party Chairman David Schaefer, and he's fighting. He's out there. He is fighting.
Yeah,
He is
he's
fighting.
totally told me he's fighting, so I know he is.
By the way, I also want to say hello to Kelly's husband. Is one of the great entrepreneurs in our country.
Is he? I think of him as an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur. Kelly, yeah, tell us about, hold on, Kelly Loeffler, husband. Tell us about the entrepreneurial spirit of her husband, please.
Respected by everybody. He's a tough guy, but he is a sweetheart, and he loves your state. I just want to say hello. Do you mind? Okay. He doesn't want that. He doesn't want it.
Nah, he doesn't want attention.
He's respected as a businessman, respected by everybody, and gives tremendous amounts of money to charity and everything else. Thank you very much.
And he just became a billionaire.
Also,
That's
a friend
awesome.
of mine, and I don't know
like, honestly, guys, congratulations. There you go. That's adorable. Within months, the couple faced public scorn over a series of stock trades made before the coronavirus outbreak jolted global markets. Their wealth has now become a focal point in January 5th runoff election between Loeffler and Warnock, academic, one of the Senate races of the day. Oh, okay. Oh, that's weird. Curious.
What it is, I'm not so good with the bikes. I sort of say, maybe I stay away from a little bit.
What?
Also, a friend of mine, and I don't know what it is, I'm not so good with the bikes. I sort of say, maybe I stay away from a little bit.
Grown man can't ride a bicycle. That's what he's trying to tell you.
But Chris Cox is Bikers for Trump, and he's the founder.
Can't ride a motorcycle, can't ride a bicycle.
And he had more people show up for me. Whenever I'd go to places, I'd have 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 bikes. And Secret Service would go crazy. I say, no, I'm so happy. And they wouldn't do it for...
They're like, Secret Service would go crazy and go like, we know these people as meth dealers. A bunch of these guys are currently carrying methamphetamines in their saddlebags on their bikes. They're on wanted lists, Mr. President. They've got a Trump flag behind them. Consider them pardoned.
For the reason they just wanted to protect their future president. This was before I won. They were with me. For whatever reason, bikers like me. And
it's weird. Like, I'm going to go with the mob uses bikers as their primary conduit to deliver certain types of drugs via the interstate. That might be.
I like them. Chris Cox, wherever you are, Chris Cox. Where's Chris? Right? I don't know why the bikers like me, Chris, but they do. But I like.
Yeah, they don't.
You guys a lot, and you're great.
They're paid to like you.
We'd go to speeches and we'd be packed, and we couldn't even get them. They didn't even want to be inside. They stood outside, and they were.
Yeah, they don't want to listen to you. They're not actually there to support. They're paid to make noise.
Protecting their president when I became president. I never felt safer in my life. Thank you. True. That's true. Another man who's respected by everybody, friend of mine, David McIntosh, Club for Growth. David, thank you,
There
David.
he is. Thank you, David. Thank you.
Respected by everybody. And I want to thank Don Jr. Did he do a good job tonight? I watched. Where's Don?
Oh, my goodness. We missed that.
I don't know. He sort of has. They love our Don. But he's working hard, and I want to thank Don and Kimberly Guilfoyle. Oh, it's been incredible.
There he is. He's right back there. It's easy to miss him. He's your son,
And I also came with somebody who people like a lot. People like her a lot. I don't know. She doesn't really like the concept of running for office. She says, what do I need it for, Dad? Ivanka. Where's Ivanka?
Yep, that was her.
Should we get Ivanka up? Yes, right? Come on up here, honey.
Yeah, it's your big debut. Come on, finally. Yikes.
Hello, Georgia. It is so incredible to be back here with so many amazing, hardworking Georgia families who are fighting for our children's future. Each one of you.
Yeah, totally. That's what they're there for. They're fighting for our children's future so that they can grow up and die of an uncontrolled epidemic.
And it's so great to be back in Georgia with this warrior, my father, the people's president.
The people's president.
He is a tireless champion for all of you, and he will never stop fighting. And
I think he's asleep right now, actually. He's dozing off.
by his
If he's tireless, why has he had 30 press lids since the election?
side are two amazing senators that we have to send back to the Senate and send a resounding message.
Is it me? Is he looked like he just landed on the stage and has just gone into like C-3PO shutdown mode. The other thing too is his hands are purple.
That patriotism is alive and well in Georgia. And Georgia is going to keep freedom alive in America. Please vote. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Georgia. And God bless America. And God bless our president.
Stand over here where I can look at you. Don't stand back there with Don Jr. He'll get it on you.
Thank you, Ivanka. Thanks, Don, Kimberly, everybody. Thank you all. Tomorrow, our entire nation is counting on the people of Georgia. In a way, the world is counting on the people of Georgia. The fate of
Yeah, they really are. They're counting on the people of Georgia.
our country is at stake. It's in your hands. You must deliver a Republican victory so big that the Democrats can't steal it or cheat it away. We have all, they'll be trying though, I'll tell you that. We have all seen what our opponents are capable of doing.
They're capable of doing.
I ran 2 elections. I won both of them. Second one, much more successful than the first. But we can't let this happen any longer. On election night,
You can't let this happen any longer.
but we can't let this happen any longer. On election night,
Can't let it happen any longer.
the first. But we can't let this happen any longer. On election night, we were leading by so much. We're not going to have that tomorrow. We're not going to have that tomorrow night where you're leading and then all of a sudden, boom, it's gone like magic. We won Florida and Ohio in record numbers. We won Iowa by 8.2%. Nobody's ever won those 3 states and lost. Never happened before. It's almost
No, it actually has happened before. Of course it's happened before. The idea was it hasn't happened in 60 years, but everybody pounced on Florida and Ohio because you needed them to win and forgot about the other states. You see, you've only got limited resources in a campaign, and attention span is fairly thin.
almost impossible unless people do a lot of either get very lucky or they cheat. We were up 290.
Or you are completely unlikable.
83,000 votes in Michigan, 112,000 votes in Washington. In Wisconsin, we were way up. 356,000 votes
Way
in
up.
Georgia, 356,000. And 700,000 votes in Pennsylvania. It was over. I should have run up to the podium and said, thank you very much for this wonderful victory. Then maybe they wouldn't have had time to close
Close the gap and win using other votes that were actually cast by voters.
booths, right? The counting rooms, and do what they did. But then it all started to disappear. And I tell this story because we can't let this happen tomorrow, Kelly.
Yeah, it's not going to. They're going to be counting votes. Georgia's already talked about it.
So keep your eyes open. Since
Yeah, keep your eyes open. Make sure. Yeah.
the election, we have put forth indisputable evidence documenting the rampant fraud, which will be announced on Wednesday, as you know.
Sure. Yeah, no time like the present.
And I want to thank Senator Josh Hawley and Ted Cruz and all of the incredible senators that have stepped up to fight because they've seen what happens. They know it's a fraud.
Yeah, they've seen what happens. They know they need to make the Trump voter, because they won't be able to vote for you, vote for them. So they're doing this stunt.
And not just here. You know, I watched some of the people on Fox. I had no choice. I had to. I didn't have enough channels. And they said,
Oh, it's terrible. Vote. Oh, terrible.
why is he fighting for Georgia? It's not enough. No, I need 3. I'm fighting in 8, actually, but 6. And we're going to win them all. But they... I'm fighting in 8, actually, but 6. And we're going to win them all. But they said... why? One of the people, a very fine woman, actually, but she said, why is he fighting Georgia? It doesn't get him there. I said, no, but Georgia and Pennsylvania and one other get me there. And we
Yeah, you're not going to get Pennsylvania either.
have 6 and maybe 8 if you look at them. And we will...
Okay. Here's the reason why 8. Do you guys want to know why he's saying 8? I'm not kidding. They believe that the Republican state senators from these states can seize back their ability to choose an elector and force their elector, who they chose, not to carry the will of the people of that particular state, but to disagree with their state and therefore carry a vote for Trump up there, so that if you spread it out, they need 8 states. They've done the math. You notice they've been talking about 5 or 6 states where they would need the entire electoral college. The reason he's saying 8 is he needs 8 states where the Republicans all go for him, because their collective electoral votes as individuals would add up to a number greater than 270 or 306. They would take them away. That's why. So he needs 8 states worth of state legislators where they're, half Republican, half Democrat, for example, or close to even where they're controlled by Republicans. Let's say there's 6 out of 8 or 6 out of 10. He needs all 6 of those to seize back their electoral choice, choose someone who will vote for Trump in spite of the state's vote, and carry that to Washington to deliver enough to overturn the election. Because even if they remove the states he's fighting over, he still doesn't even get to 270, much less beat Biden.
We're leading all of them by a lot until, like a miracle, it started to quickly disappear. Right here in Georgia, there were tens of thousands of illegal votes cast and counted. You know that.
Nope. They don't know that. They know that's not true.
And here are just a few examples. Watch this.
Let's do it. All right, let's give us an example. You going to play a video?
Tomorrow, we were up 10,315 ballots were cast by individuals whose name and date of birth matches a Georgia resident who died in 2020 prior to the election. And your wacky Secretary of State said 2 people.
Yeah, 2 people. That's how many. There's 10,000 people didn't vote from beyond the grave in Georgia. They didn't do it. 2 people did. Both of them voted for Trump.
Now, I don't know how many people are on that list, but it's a lot of people. 2,000.
Are you kidding? Melania's not there. He goes and does these rallies just to get away from Melania.
506 ballots were cast by individuals whose name and date of birth matches an incarcerated felon in a Georgia prison. Maybe they aren't all there, but they did a lot of work. I paid a lot.
They match people who are incarcerated in a prison, or people who have gotten out after being incarcerated, but should be according to their original sentence. So that's the idea. Like, you got 10 years, you get out after 2 because it was you served good time or what have you, didn't reoffend, you paid your debt to society. But since you got 10 years, they're going to do the math and assume or let people believe that you were supposed to be in there for 10 years. And even though you got out in 2 because you served your time and you've been a model citizen ever since and you voted in this election, that you should have been in jail so your vote shouldn't count.
A lot of money to a lot of people, I can tell you that. 4,500. A lot of work.
He did?
I paid a lot of money to a lot of people, I can tell you.
Yeah, and they brought back quality work. They really did. The good money. It's well spent.
4,502 illegal ballots were cast by individuals who do not appear on the state's voter rolls. Well, that's sort of strange.
Yeah, almost as if the voter rolls that you guys purchased through the RNC are 6 years old.
18,320.
They don't count anybody who's over the age of 18. They don't count anybody who's voted before. You can't, what more could you ask for?
25 illegal ballots were cast by individuals who registered to vote using an address listed as vacant, according to the Postal Service.
Oh, really? Well, clearly it isn't vacant if someone was there.
At least 86,000.
What? Wait a minute. What post office lists a vacant address? Does anybody know where that argument would come from? Because if someone registers to vote from that address and says that's my residence, then that's going to show up. They're either going to have a piece of mail from there, or they got their when they originally registered, they need their driver's license or something along those lines. They don't need an ID to go into the voting booth because they've got a specific poll that's specific to their area. It doesn't include everybody in town. It just includes people in the neighborhood or in the district. So there's only a limited number of people. They keep track of them that way. You walk in, you show your electrical bill or whatever. That's usually how you do it. If you want to show ID, you can, but you don't. You can go, I'm on this list. You say your name. They check your address. You say yes. You go inside, and if somebody else votes on your behalf, they're going to go to jail for 10 years. So it's a little not something terribly worrisome. But does anybody know, the post office and by the way, this might be a Louis DeJoy story that he's been told. The post office listing a house as, they're purge lists, right? Listing a house as vacant, even though people it's on their address, it's on their driver's license, it's on a piece of mail that they used. Yeah.
880 ballots were cast by people whose registrations were illegally backdated. Oh, I can't believe that happened.
Illegally backdated. You can vote in person and register right up to the end of voting in. All right.
66,000 votes. You have to understand, we're down by a little more than 11,000. So
we're going through the whole phone call right now.
One of these is determinative.
Look at that. 1.2 thousand people just on Facebook. Look at that. I'm very popular. I think there's more people watching me right now on this stream than at Donald Trump's rally. As a matter of fact, I would guarantee that.
66,000 votes in Georgia were cast by people under the legal voting age.
No, according to the Secretary of State, who's a Republican, 0. Nobody underage voted in this election. This is absurd.
At least 15,000 ballots were cast by individuals who moved out of the state.
You mean military people?
Prior to the November 3rd election. And maybe they moved back in. I don't know. I can't.
They did. He's choosing people who moved out of the state a decade ago and moved back.
They moved out. Let's go back. Usually it takes a little time, right? We moved out. Let's go back, darling.
Is that how the conversation went?
Georgia's absentee ballot rejection rate went from an average of 3% in 2016.
Thanks, Heidi.
And then went down very low to almost 0 now. Oh, think of it, almost 0. If you multiply that out, and this is with many, many more ballots pouring in, went to almost 0. 48 out of 100.
Yes, because the number of people doing mail-in ballots that are capable, that are not homebound because of an illness, have a degrading illness, or have a disability that makes their signature hard to match, or they need somebody else to help them, those kind of things, that number stays constant, where the number of people voting who were very friggin' careful because they knew Louis DeJoy and you were screwing with the election, made sure their I's were dotted and their T's were crossed.
159 counties in Georgia rejected, no ballots at all. These absentee ballot rejection rates prove that the tens of thousands of illegitimate ballots,
by the way, that's just not even true either,
were counted. There were more absentee ballots in 2020 than ever before by far, but
yeah, because of COVID.
magically far fewer ballots were rejected.
Right, because the vast majority, the entire expanse of absentee ballots were by people who were concerned their vote wouldn't count and were very careful making sure their signature matched their registration.
This alone is more than enough to swing the election to us.
No, it isn't, because a bunch of people that you're alleging would have voted for you.
This one thing.
This one thing. Yeah, I mean, just make it up, just sure.
I'm going over individual in all of the swing states. Now, they'll check this out, and that's fine.
Yes, we have. They have. It happened this afternoon.
You take a look at it. Officials
Yeah, we took a look. Everybody's taking a look at it. You're full of shit.
egregiously violated state laws in order to solicit, facilitate, and promote cheating and theft on a scale never seen before.
Yeah, it's written right there in the teleprompter. It's got to be true.
These crooked and incompetent officials suspended signature verification. I
No, they didn't.
said, I want you to go to Fulton County to check the signatures because hundreds of thousands of ballots came in. I want you to check the signature to see if it compares to somebody that lived there 2 years, 4 years, or 6 years ago.
Why do they have to have lived there? Why they can't? So nobody. If you move within a year and a half of an election, according to Trump, your vote doesn't count. So he just wants those thrown out. And maybe if you moved anywhere in between any of those elections, yeah, you were here for the last election, but were you here for the two before that? I don't think so. Throw those out. Again, this goes to the and the way, okay, the reason he's saying this, by the way, is if you'll recall the consent decree thing that we're talking about, that he called it the consent decree. Where is it? Here we go. The compromise settlement and agreement release. The reason he's saying 2, 6, 2, 4, and 6 is because they want to just choose one of those, the last election, the one before that, or the one after that. And if your ballot doesn't match any one of them, they want to throw them all out. Or if you don't have all three of them, they want to throw them out. That's what they're pissed about. Because they've got this eNet thing that stores everybody's signature. It's the thing that shows up on your driver's license where it puts the digital copy of the one that you wrote on your application, so it's a dead-on match. It's the same thing. They use eNet for their voter registration stuff. They use the same thing for your driver's license. It matches it digitally. If you're from another state and you change your driver's license when you come in, sometimes they'll transfer it over. You'll sign a new thing and it goes into the eNet system. Your signature is matched to that. It's how banks check against your ID. This is how it works. It's the same thing. But they want all three of them. He's mad because they can't use one of them that doesn't look as much like the others to just throw it out.
They don't want to do it, the Secretary of State and your incompetent governor, although he thinks I've been a great president.
Well, of course, if he thinks you've been a great president, of course he's incompetent. I mean, that's what more evidence do you need?
They illegally flooded their states with absentee ballots, and they
Illegally flooded them with absentee ballots during a pandemic where they wanted everyone to vote.
deployed hundreds of illicit ballot drop boxes in corrupt Democrat-run cities, among many other flagrant violations of law. They put these drop boxes there, and in a number of cases, they'd be gone for 3 days. They'd take them up, and where are they? Where are they? They were gone. Georgia's Secretary of State agreed.
That, by the way, That's just gibberish he's making up in his head, too. That there were, like, drop boxes left out for 3 days and messed with, and then they just showed up.
Agreed to a litigation settlement, which is something that nobody's ever seen one like this. I want to just tell you that Stacey Abrams took him to the cleaners.
Okay, so the litigation settlement that he's talking about, that's what he's calling the consent decree. So now he wants it both ways.
That drastically and illegally changed the state's election procedures. They never got the mandated approval from your state legislature, who, by the way, you have some great people in your legislature, some great, great people.
Some awful people, though, who won't throw the election to him for free.
Who agree with what we're saying, and even more so. But think of it, they never
Okay, we're thinking, okay.
got the approval. You have to, by law, under the Constitution, you can't just do these deals and not get...
Yeah, you can. It's legislation. They were sued. The state worked out the deal. It was within the constitutional basis of it. They had their lawyers look at it. It's not written in crayon, dipshit. These aren't executive orders. That's why he thinks the consent decree sounds like an executive order. Like, I, therefore, as governor, blah, 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 blah. That's what he thinks.
And your Secretary of State, or whoever it was...
Yeah, whoever.
...made this horrible consent decree.
Horrible thing that's not actually called a consent decree at all. But yes, go ahead.
Horrible. Which got rid of so much safety. It's a disgraceful thing.
It added another layer. Like, you had to have like more than one person throw a vote out. Boo frickety who.
And it was only approved by your local politicians, him, and local judges. You can't do that. You have to have your state legislatures do it. That's true with all...
No, you don't. No, you don't. This is Rudy Giuliani bullshit. We've dealt with this Rudy Giuliani nonsense.
All states. Tens of thousands of votes are missing.
No, they're not.
We go all over the world telling people how to run their elections, and we don't even know how to run ours.
Nope. Yeah, you've been president for 4 years, and for whatever reason, while you were president, we ended up having the worst pandemic, the highest death rate, the biggest deficit, and the most insecure election in our history. Fuck, dude, maybe it's you.
The most unhappy person right now anywhere in the United States is Hillary Clinton, because she's asking the Democrat Party, why the hell didn't you do this for me?
That's in the teleprompter. That's what he believes is a joke.
True.
Really? Lock her up? We're going with lock her up. Hold on. What?
Why didn't you do it for me? Why the hell didn't you notice how quiet she's been? I shouldn't have said that.
Look. By the way, look at. They've just put a cherry picker behind the Marine 1 or Marine 2, whichever one this is, and so they can take pictures of him with his crowd, with his back, like while he's doing this. Look at that.
Now Tonight Show. But you notice how quiet she's furious, because she said, don't forget, I won Michigan by 10,000 votes. We did much better, as I said, this time. Much, much better. But I won Michigan from her by 10,000 votes. I won Wisconsin by a small, I mean.
Yeah, by less than 78,000 votes across 3 states. And Biden kicked your ass because he paid attention to those states. You won on a fluke.
Could have done that one and not get caught. We caught him. We caught him.
You didn't catch anybody. We caught you. Explain Kentucky, Ohio, and Florida. I want a review. Let's have it.
And I say to people like Mike Lee that are here and Lindsay, I say, if they got approved and verified, they use the word verified, votes that are fraudulent, and then we find out after, because you can't do it that quickly. It doesn't go that quickly. It's a lot of work.
You mean like when Al Gore won Florida? When it turned out he actually won Florida?
And a lot of votes and a lot of people. And then we find out that they were frauds, like in one state where you had, let's say, you lost by 25,000 votes. They verify it, and that's supposed to be the end. But shortly thereafter, we find out that we actually won the state by 250,000 votes. Does that
Yeah, that happens.
mean that that state plus others adds up to being your president? I don't think it should. I don't think it should.
Yeah, I agree. You go apologize to Al Gore and let him take your presidency.
I don't think that Kelly feels it should. I don't think that Marjorie feels it should.
Does David? Because why are you not mentioning him?
In Wisconsin, over 90,000 ballots were illegally harvested. Can't do that, not allowed to.
Yes, you are.
Through so-called human drop boxes. And
Human drop boxes.
over 500
That sounds painful.
illegal unmanned drop boxes were put out statewide. In addition, over 170,000 absentee votes were counted that are blatantly illegal under Wisconsin law and should never have been included in the tally. By the way, it was razor thin. There's 170.
Yeah, they recounted again, and you lost again, and it gets worse every time you count it, and you went back and you paid to have votes recounted, and he wants them thrown out because he believes that during a pandemic, you shouldn't go to places where people are indigent or kept at home and have their votes brought someplace. If they can't drive, if their relatives don't want to drive over to get mom out of a place for mom and drive her to the polls and have her die because of a disease, then her vote shouldn't count. Are you an American or what? And by the way, no, he's not saying that the votes are like he's talking out of his ass.
70,000 votes. The margin in Wisconsin is only 20,000 votes, so this issue alone would have won that state for us many times over. We were leading at 10 o'clock in the evening by a lot. In
Before they counted the mail-in ballots, right?
Pennsylvania, there were 205,000 more ballots cast than there were voters. How do you get around that one?
Because it's not true. And because they have, I mean, even if that number was even close to true, which it isn't, but you have same-day registration and same-day registration and in-person absentee voting. So if you are concerned about your voting registration, you've been kicked off or purged or any of those things, then all you do is go down to the county clerk's office, register in person, request a ballot, and fill it out. There is no record of an absentee ballot application. There is no record of one being mailed out, and yet there's a record of a ballot coming in.
Which remains completely unexplained. You have great senators and representatives.
Well, nobody can explain it because nobody knows what the shit you're talking about. No one is responsible for explaining the content of your farts based on what you think they smell like.
There, and nobody can explain it. But think of that. And in other places, too. You had more ballots than you...
Please keep yelling at the people. Like, this is, by the way, this is the fun part. This is, to settle in, Georgia. It's nice and cold.
Had voters. You had more votes, think of it, than you had voters by a lot.
No, didn't happen. Not anywhere.
In addition, Democrat state Supreme Court
Thank you,
judges
Coretta.
and Democrat Secretary of
Thank you very
State
much.
effectively abolished the signature verification.
And by the way, thank you, Impish Artist. I missed that one, and Hiram Befittum. And thanks for the new follows, everybody. I think where are we in terms of that? So we're 33 away from 3,000. 33, 333, double 666. Oh no, don't anyone follow me on whatever you do. Don't follow on Twitch right now until the sun comes up. I'm scared.
Process right here. They counted ballots cast after deadlines, and they allowed ballots to be illegally fixed in Democrat-controlled areas.
Illegally fixed? You mean cured? You mean they followed the law in the Democratic areas and allowed people to cure their ballots, but red counties didn't? This is the Pennsylvania argument. We've been through this.
And I say this because you can't let this happen tomorrow, and I hope...
No, nobody will. Like, they won't have to. It's going to be abundantly clear. All eyes on Georgia. You're going to lose fair and square.
All the politicians are listening. There's
Jesus.
an unexplained 400,000 vote discrepancy between the number of mail-in ballots in Pennsylvania sent out, reported on November 2nd, 2020, and the number reported on November 4th. They can't explain it. 400,000 previously unreported mail-in ballots magically appeared. They couldn't explain it. And all of a
Yeah, they could. They arrived because of the mail.
sudden, they just happened to find 400,000. That's a lot of people.
They didn't find them. They came in through the mail. They were mail-in ballots.
Amazing.
What? And by the way, let me run that by me again.
2020, and the number reported on November 4th. They can't explain it. 400,000 previously unreported mail-in ballots magically appeared. They couldn't explain it. And all of a sudden, they just happened to find 400,000. That's a lot of people. Amazing. And the Pennsylvania legislature is not happy. Pennsylvania also
400,000 black people is what he's complaining about, just so you know.
had an estimated 8,000 dead voters, 55,000 ballots received back before they were even sent. How about that?
No, asshole. Those were in-person voters. They didn't have to be sent.
Back before they were.
Hold on, send it.
Is not happy. Pennsylvania also had an estimated 8,000 dead voters, 55,000 ballots received back before they were even sent. How about that?
Yeah, didn't happen. No one knows what the shit you're talking about. Rudy tried to float that, and then he stopped saying it 2 months ago.
The ballots were received, but they weren't sent yet. Oh, get them out fast, please.
Oh, God.
Many more with no mail date, and 14,000 ballots illegally cast by out-of-state voters. Those are numbers. And those are numbers.
They're numbers. Yeah, they're numbers, guys. These are numbers. They're not real numbers. They don't match to anything in reality. But they're, they're numbers. I just said numbers, so think numbers.
We got from them, so they can't say, oh, the numbers aren't so good. In Clark.
These are numbers we got from them, so they can't say, oh, they're not so good. So Pennsylvania apparently listed 55,000, like hundreds of thousands of fake votes. Run that by me again real quick. Tell me again.
There's an unexplained 400,000 vote discrepancy between the number of mail-in ballots in Pennsylvania sent out, reported on November 2nd, 2020, and the number reported on November 4th. They can't explain it. 400,000 previously unreported mail-in ballots magically appeared. They couldn't explain it. And all of a sudden, they just happened to find 400,000. That's a lot of people. Amazing. And the Pennsylvania legislature is not happy. Pennsylvania also had an estimated...
Can I just real quick, do you mind? State stopped counting. That was one of them. Biden caught up. The fourth, let's see. Michigan. Let's see. Reuters confirmed that election. Okay, there's Wayne County, Wisconsin, Arizona. Okay, the 400,000. Michigan did not stop counting ballots. PolitiFact at no point was the counting process stopped. 6 a.m. Since it started at 7 a.m. yesterday morning, November 3rd, which was then per Michigan election law when it could begin. Misunderstanding of tally updates. North Carolina did not stop counting votes on election night when it was not due. Did stop counting, was not because of fraud. Local TV station WSOC reported that Karen Brinson Bell, executive director, said North Carolina stopped counting votes on election night because there were no more votes to count that night. Okay. Nevada, Biden caught up. Posts a good questionable Biden later. They say at midnight, 1 second. They said at midnight in Michigan, Trump was ahead by 5%, 400,000 votes, with 80% of the votes already gone. When the next 10% of votes of about 400,000 were counted for Wayne County, then suddenly Biden caught up with 90% of the votes in. Thank you very much, Kim. Biden made up 5% with 10% of the total vote. That means that all the votes, close to 100% for Warren Biden. That means that practically all registered voters voted in Wayne County. Reuters could not confirm the claim that Trump led Michigan by 400,000 votes. That's the part they just friggin' made up on election night. CNBC reported that in-person votes, which lean Republican, were counted first, and mail-in votes, which are lean Democrat, were counted next in Michigan. Here, this explains the shift from Trump to Biden as mail-in votes were tallied. This is the election results of 30 to 35%, then with 51 to 45 to 53%. He started to catch up. See. It's not true that all the Wayne County voters went to Biden. The unofficial results were available on Wayne County website, and the unofficial results summary report shows there are 867, 409 ballots cast and 1.4 registered voters, so that's less than. About 67.99% of total votes were for Biden in Wayne County. So he took 70-30, basically. Okay. I'm not quite sure what he's talking about, but I'm sure he'll answer.
8,000 dead voters. 55,000 ballots received back before they were even sent. How about that?
Which is, again, these are just made up.
The ballots were received, but they weren't sent yet. Get them out fast, please.
Okay. So, let's see where we go with that. This is 55,000 Pennsylvania votes received before they were sent. Oops, hold on. Fact check. Let's see. Fact check post mixes Pennsylvania primary. Okay, data, let's see. Here we go. Data showing ballots mailed to voters and received by the state the same day is not proof of voter fraud. Social media users have been sharing a video online that claims data from the Pennsylvania Department of State reveals voter fraud as it shows ballots were mailed to voters and received the same day. This claim is false. There you go. Examples can be seen here and here. Those are the videos they showed. The video discusses a data set on Pennsylvania's Open Data PA website, which shows data on local topics such as healthcare, education, COVID-19. The data set shown in the video can be found here. In the 1-minute TikTok video, the narrator says the following information is straight from the PA Gov website and almost 3.1 million entries. Has almost 3.1 million entries. I exported all that information into an Excel sheet, but I was cut off at about 1 million rows. So keep in mind, we're working with 1/3 of the whole data set. So it sounds legit. So the first thing I do is create a column to see if any ballots were mailed out by the government the same day they were received, filled out through the mail by the voter. Turns out that 11,000 were filled out by the voter and returned back to the government the same day the government mailed them and then out to the voter. I then created a column to see if there were any applications that were approved by the government, mailed out by the government, received by that voter, and then filled out by the voter and mailed back to the government on the same day. There were 8,205 cases of that. And lastly, okay. Wanda Murren, director of the Office of Communications and Press for Pennsylvania Department of State, told Reuters via email, under provisions of Act 77 of 2019, the counties were required to allow registered voters to vote by mail-in ballot over the counter at the county election office or satellite county election office as soon as ballots were available. This is the exact same shit we dealt with in Wisconsin. I'm sorry. The star should be back. It should be present. It was there for a while. Hopefully, we'll be all right. I can't see it on my end because I'm on the business end of it. I apologize. But this is. Remember how we talked about this? Remember how we talked about this about Wisconsin? That Wisconsin calls absentee voting anything except voting on election day. They call it absentee, even if you mail in, because you are absent from the voting booth. So for purposes of legalese, they call it absentee mail-in voting. The same thing happens in Pennsylvania as far as the language. Under provisions of Act 77 of 2019, this is the year before we had pandemic and all that kind of stuff, the counties were required, by law, were required, to allow registered voters to vote by mail-in ballot over the counter at the county election office or satellite county election office as soon as ballots were available. You got it? See that? So the 55,000 that he's claiming, that you see specifically, let's be abundantly clear. When he says 55,000 mail-in ballots were shown as coming in the same day they went out, that's why. Same as in Wisconsin. Same bullshit they've tried to play there. This is the same argument we've seen Rudy Giuliani make. Okay, but please continue to lie.
Many more with no mail date, and 14,000 ballots illegally cast by out-of-state voters. Those are numbers.
Yeah, they weren't cast illegally by out-of-state voters. They were out-of-state votes.
Those are numbers we got from them, so they can't say, oh, the numbers aren't so good.
Oh, the stars are missing now? Weird. Sometimes that happens. Maybe it's just I go too long and they cut them off. Is that what the problem is?
In Clark County, Nevada, over 130,000 ballots. This is far, just so you know, all these numbers, these are far more than we need. Were processed on machines where the signature matching threshold was intentionally lowered to a level that you could sign your name Santa Claus and it wouldn't pick it up.
Only if your name was Santa Claus and you'd registered as Santa Claus and you always signed as Santa Claus.
Didn't pick up anything. More than 42,000 people in Nevada.
Yep, they're trying. Facebook's trying to mess with me.
Double voted. That's more than we needed by far. In Arizona, more than 36,000 votes were cast by
Maybe it's when I clear a certain time point on Facebook. You know what I mean?
Non-citizens, and there were 11,000 more ballots than there were voters. Seems to be
No, there weren't.
a trait, doesn't it?
Yeah, it seems to be a consistent lie you tell about a lot of places. That's the one thing, like Rudy goes, we find this everywhere. If you look, we find this everywhere. Well, that's because your bias and your psychosis make you see boogeymen out every window that don't exist. Because you are selling a lie in a bunch of different states.
It was like at the
and you're not creative.
Bowl, we have 15 cameras, and they say, camera number 4, you're on. Camera number 3, you're on. In Michigan, according to
What?
Great, doesn't it? This was like at the Super Bowl, we have 15 cameras, and they say, camera number 4, you're on. Camera number 3, you're on. In Michigan, according to one...
What? Hold on one second. Okay, hold on.
Analysts, over 35,000 ballots listed no address. Over 13 ballots were cast by non-residents. And an estimated 17,000 ballots were cast by dead people. Some dead people, by the way, also requested an application. It's true. Those are the ones that really bother me.
Really? The ones that voted for you? The ones that are actually going to jail?
They not only vote, but they request an application. That's a double. In addition, there is the highly troubling matter of Dominion voting machines. And I want you to watch this very carefully tomorrow, everybody. You have to watch.
Yeah, totally. Watch it. Yeah, because I wouldn't even trust those things. If you go in and it says Dominion, I would go home. It's not safe. I'm kidding, of course. Go vote.
Watch it carefully. I want to read you from a letter from Georgia State Senator William Ligon. You know who he is, right? Highly respected guy.
Totally. Oh, yeah, we all know him. He's highly respected.
Dear Mr. President, as chairman of the Georgia Senate Judiciary Committee on Elections, I request that you immediately send an outside team of cyber experts to investigate potential hacking and other irregularities associated with Dominion voting systems, scanners, ballot marking devices, ballots, polling pads used in the 2020 general election in Georgia. You don't hear this from your Secretary of State, and you don't hear this from...
No, you don't. You just hear it from the one Trump loony on the state senator board.
From
sure.
your governor.
No.
And you do have a great legislature, I have to tell you, but the governor won't let them hold a session to decertify.
Yeah, because they don't have that right.
December 30th, 2020, the committee held a hearing investigating potential fraud and other irregularities during Georgia's 2020 general election. The committee first unanimously approved a report dated December 17, 2020, discussing a myriad of voting irregularities and potential fraud in Georgia.
Because you wanted them to.
2020 general election, discussed in an earlier hearing held on December 3rd. Notably, the committee stated in the executive summary that the November 3rd, 2020 general election was chaotic and reported results must be viewed as untrustworthy. They are untrustworthy, despite the line of crap you hear from these people that represent you. I don't know where they come from. The committee then heard...
Yeah, all these people that represent you, these Republicans, I don't know where they get elected. Oh, wait, you helped them get elected. Just like you turn on your own staff and on your own cabinet appointees.
And this is from one of your
But the best people. Please tell me more about the
most
best
highly
people.
respected political representatives. The committee then heard additional testimony concerning voting irregularities during the 2020 general election.
Yeah, we saw that. I aired the whole thing.
Including testimony and a real-time test demonstrating serious irregularities with Dominion's voting machines.
No, they didn't. We watched their actual gatherings. They didn't have a real-time test of the Dominion machines.
3 events discussed at this hearing stand out and require a forensic order of the Dominion voting machines in Georgia to be immediately conducted.
Yeah, do it tomorrow before the election. Again.
The governor will not let us do it. We've been asking him now since November 4th, the day after the election. He won't let us do it. Why won't he let us do it?
Because you're now a private citizen in a private campaign that's asking to see proprietary software and be left alone with machines, and your people wouldn't pass a security check?
There's only one reason I can think of.
That they put country over you?
First, the Dominion voting machines employed in Fulton County, that's the home of Stacy, had an astounding 90...
You mean the black county, right? With lots of black people? That part, they what?
3.67 error rate. 93.67 error rate in the scanning of ballots requiring a review panel to adjudicate or determine the voter's intent. So they're going to a voter intent. What did the voter mean by this vote? Somebody votes for Trump. I think that voter meant something other. He doesn't want Trump. Let's just switch it around.
Is that how it went? Did everybody get that? This is how the adjudication process worked. Run that by me again.
Going to a voter intent. What did the voter mean?
Go into the intent of the voter.
By this vote. Somebody votes for Trump. I think that voter meant something other. He doesn't want Trump. Let's just switch it around.
Yeah.
Think of that. They're trying to determine the voter's intent in over 106,000 ballots out of a total of 113,000 ballots. This is from your representative, highly respected. The national average for such an error rate.
By the way, those discrepancies weren't all to do with the presidential race. A vast majority of them aren't, actually, by the way. Because they'd fill in parts of it, or they'd mailed it in and they'd written it in person, but they, on one of the lower level offices or whatever, there were multiple choices, and they went, that guy, that guy, that guy. Oh, not that guy, that guy. And they scribbled one out or crossed it out, so they had to have a bunch of people look at it. It wasn't for president and vice president. That's one bubble, and it's done.
Rate is far less than 1.2%, so that was 93%. The source of this astronomical error rate must be identified to determine if these machines were set up or designated to allow for a third party to disregard the actual ballot cast by the registered voter. This is what I have. There was no way. Look at this crowd we have here. Biden.
Yeah, it's every voter that supported me is here. So I must have been great. Every dumbass who doesn't believe in masks and thinks COVID is a hoax is gathered here right in front of me. And that must be the majority of Georgia voters.
Biden came here, he had nobody.
When Biden came here, he had nobody because they did social distancing. They only let a certain number of people in. It was mainly for the people in the local area, and they televised it.
Gallup, you know the Gallup poll. They did it. I don't say this braggingly.
Please.
Most admired man in the world or the country? I don't say it. I say it for a different reason. So I came in first, Obama came in second, and Biden came in way low. Then I say, and they say, and people have said, how is it possible that a guy who got 80 million votes can't get any votes for the most admired man? You know why? Because he didn't come in first, that's why.
I see. It's, an online poll which people jump into and is shopped to people. Okay.
Second, again from this
Yes, he did say astronomical.
very respected political leader. Second, there is clear evidence that tens of thousands of votes were switched from President Trump to former Vice President Biden in
Yeah, but only because they had wrongly been switched from Biden to Trump. So they were switched back. 17,000 of them in Pennsylvania, actually. 17,000 Biden votes were unfairly given to Trump and were put back.
several counties throughout Georgia. For example, in Bibb County, anybody live in Bibb County? Bibb, B-I-B-B. President Trump was reported to have 29,391 votes at 9:11 p.m., while simultaneously former Vice President Joe Biden was reported to have 17,218. Minutes later, at the next update, these vote numbers switched, with President Trump now having 17,000 and Biden now having 29,391.
It's almost like they counted more ballots.
That was a switch of over 12,000 votes. It was like a miracle. Third, during this hearing, a presented demonstration.
So they caught your guy who had attempted to throw Biden votes to you and fixed it.
Demonstrated that a Dominion poll could be hacked into in real time because it was connected to the internet.
They weren't.
Now, anything connected to the internet, that's not good.
No, definitely not.
But this demonstration proved that these machines could allow votes to be siphoned off
Oh my God.
or added during the voting process because they're connected to the internet. Cybersecurity experts agree that voting machines should not be connected to the internet at any time, in any way, shape, or form. Did you see that during the hearing? This guy sitting there, well, can you connect into the machines? Yes. How do you do that? Within about 25 seconds, he controlled the internet. Former Vice President Biden.
Yeah, because his computer was hooked up to the internet and he hooked an Ethernet cable up to it live. You're not allowed to do that on election day. They aren't physically connected. All the updates have to be done within, I think, a week before so they can be reviewed.
Led Georgia by only 11,779 votes. Every one of the things I told you about almost is more votes than what we're talking about. The
Almost.
crime that was committed in this state is immeasurable. An immediate forensic audit of an appropriate sampling of Dominion's voting machines and related equipment is critical to determine the level of illegal fraudulent ballots improperly counted in
Keep reading the
Georgia
teleprompter.
during the 2020 general election and during tomorrow's race. You've got to be very careful.
Yeah, you got to be totally careful, guys.
And let me also quickly
Totally
read
careful.
a letter from Mark Fincham, chairman of the Arizona House, a very respected man, Federal Relations Committee. Dear Mr. President, subsequent to the election, members of the legislature were inundated with complaints from constituents relating to the intensity of the general election and the integrity, more important than anything else, and
Totally.
the accuracy of canvassed results.
Yeah.
In many instances, constituents reported that their earlier in-person ballots may not have been correctly processed or tabulated in Maricopa County officials.
You mean Maricopa? Nah, let's just go with Maricopa. You know, what difference does it make? I mean, this isn't like it's important or Maricopa. You guys know Maricopa County, right?
members of the legislature have conducted.
It's only the single county they focused on in Arizona. Maricopa. Why not?
2 public hearings in recent weeks, during which significant evidence of fraudulent and illegal voting in Arizona has been demonstrated through expert and eyewitness testimony.
Expert and eyewitness. But please tell me more about Melissa Corone.
For example, in Pima County and Maricopa County, it appears that 143,000 illegal votes were actually injected into the ballot system. Think of that.
Just think about it. Think about it for a second. Think about how it's really Maricopa County for a second also, but whatever.
Think of this. Also, and the press won't report this. They probably turn
Yeah, why won't they, honestly?
off. Oh, we don't like this. They don't like this. They don't want to talk about numbers.
Yeah, God knows I hate talking about numbers. I only do it every day when Rudy has a new show with the same info over and over again.
Talked about my phone call. They don't like my phone call. Everyone loved my phone call. They don't like talking about numbers because
Everybody liked my phone call.
nobody knew the numbers were so egregious. Also,
We've been paying attention to all these. You just don't understand that your numbers are a fart fantasy.
so an expert
Smells like something's there, but there isn't anything there.
mathematician concluded that the only explanation for the actual voting
The only explanation,
results in Arizona is that 100%, think of
100% of the people in Maricopa County aren't registered to vote in Maricopa County. As a matter of fact, I know for a fact that there are no registered voters in Maricopa County.
this. 130% of Democrats voted for candidate Biden,
130%?
and a negative 30% voted for President Trump.
You mean you lost 100% of the people who voted for Obama voted for Biden, give or take, and 30% of the people who voted for Trump last time voted for Biden as well. So he got 130% of that volume of number, and you lost 30%. Right.
Now think of that. In order
I'm thinking.
to get to the numbers, 130% of the voters, that's a little tough to get.
Yeah, how tough is it? I mean, we'll go look at the numbers at some point. I mean, like we've done this like 9 times. And the best part of this is that he's not even quoting like new numbers or affirmed numbers. He's just like Rudy, he's mixing the numbers up even though they're written right there in the teleprompter for him.
Okay? Had to vote for him, and minus 30 had to vote for me. And that gets you to 100%, and nobody has 100% voting.
Yeah, nobody did. Nobody even claimed to. You're just making the number up and then being outraged by an outrageous number. Who would have thought? That's just wonderful. Wouldn't you say so? Hold on, wait. There we go. Hi. Oh, look at that. Hold on. I've got a spam thing happening in there. Oh, thank you for bringing that down. I appreciate that. Stars are gone again. Did they come and go? What happened? My stars keep getting dropped off on Facebook for some reason. Can't figure it out. Is Frankie out there or something? He's been walking around, yeah. All right. Well, he's going to attack me, so I don't know that it's...
For all of these people who think it's too late, does that mean that we're forced to approve a fraudulent election or an election?
No, we're going to go with the actual election instead of being forced to approve your fraudulent view of elections.
With massive irregularities. I don't think so. I want to thank those 2 great political leaders. But we have many other letters just like that. Same thing.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands of votes are missing. The only way
It's amazing. Hundreds of thousands of... You mean the people that didn't vote for you?
to combat the Democrat fraud is to flood your polling places with a historic tidal wave of Republican voters tomorrow. Because at a certain point, the machines are going to explode.
Yeah, that's what you're counting on. That algorithm. That's lovely. Hold on. Here. No, I want this freeze for a second. There you go.
They almost did with me. Unfortunately, they didn't quite get there, but we'll figure that out.
I paid to have them explode, and they didn't.
And I just want Mike Lee to listen to this when I'm talking, because you know what?
Because he doesn't seem to be buying it.
We need his vote. This election is
You're not going to get it.
your chance to stand up to the corrupt Democrat machine and show them that the American people are still in charge. With your help over the last 4 years, we built the greatest political movement in the history of our country. There's never been anything like this. Kelly, when did I...
What? There's never been anything like this. Like Reagan winning 400 electoral votes and totally kicking your ass. There's never been a movement like this before.
say we'll do this like
Besides Jonestown, I suppose.
2 days ago, 3 days ago, right? And look at this. And we love you all for being here. We really do. I'm glad the weather's nice. We love you all.
We do. We love you all. True love. It's the kind of love. But I'm never going to come back here again unless I win.
But there's never been a movement like this. You know, I say it all the time. And the politicians, the lamestream media, as I call them affectionately.
Yeah, it's great. Did you come up with that? Is that yours? Is that new? Gosh, if only Sarah Palin had coined that phrase at the right time, she'd probably be vice president right now. I'm kidding. Republicans won't vote for women.
If that were
Not for president. They're in a service position, House or Senate, but they can't get any higher than that. Are you absurd?
true, they'd say that's wrong. There's never been a movement like this. I mean, you
Yes, there has. There's been a lot of bowel movements like this.
have people that won one state and they become world famous for the rest of their lives. You have people that came in second in New Hampshire and they're world. We won everything.
Yeah, we won everything. My call was perfect. I got impeached because it was so perfect.
And we won it now a second time.
590? Amazing. We are 10 away from 600 patrons. Amazing, you guys.
Hate to bore you with that expression, but
Please do.
and we won it now a second time. Hate to bore you with that expression, but we won it now a second time.
That old expression. You know that old one. You know that old chestnut? We won it now a second time. I don't know how many times my dad would sit me on his knee and say, we won it now a second time. You remember that.
And I don't want to win it a third time. I really want to win it the second time. It's harder.
That old other chestnut.
Somebody came up to me today, Kelly, and they said,
Sir.
you're way up in 4 years. Nobody can come close to me. I said, I'm not interested in 4 years. I'm interested in like 8 weeks ago.
Yeah, because in 4 years, you'll be a mental basket case, peeing in jars and growing your fingernails in a hotel room, afraid to answer the door.
4 years. 4 years is a long time.
Yes, it is.
It's actually 2 and 2. You know, we'll take back the house for Kevin and Marjorie.
Yeah, it's 2 and 2. Just set some markers. Yeah, he's going to be like Howard Hughes, except not inventive.
Jody, we'll bring back the house, right? We'll bring back the house.
Totally. Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah.
He's not even interested in it.
No, if we didn't win, I'd be all upset. Of course, if I didn't win, you probably wouldn't want me, in all fairness. Big difference between losing and winning and having it stolen.
Is there?
No, but they talk about 4 years, sir, you haven't made. Nobody can come close. And I say, nope, we go this way first. And I think we're going to do it. I really believe. Because there's no way we could have won every single state. And for Fox, not one state. This is one of many. We win every state, and they're going to have this guy be president?
You didn't. You didn't win every state. You didn't even win every swing state.
And he can't speak. He can't talk.
Oh, really? I'm sorry. Biden has, is there some story about Biden not being able to speak?
Free health care for illegal. Look, Bureaucracia.
Yeah. So, at what point, beg your pardon, does he?
Once it was reluctantly aroused. It was hard to get it aroused, and it is hard to get it aroused, but we got it aroused.
Not everybody can speak that well,
Michigan gave us Motang.
and not as many people can tell the truth.
We're going to be appointing very pro-crime judges.
Okay.
Already we've achieved more than anyone thought possible, and we are just getting started. And honestly, it's you. It's amazing. What
It's so amazing. It's you guys. It's all you.
happened? I don't even know why the hell. I say, let's have a rally. We have a rally, and thousands of people.
Yeah, I would just say, what the hell? Why not have a rally? Why? It's fine.
Honestly, there's never been, I'll go out on the extreme, there's never been anything
Just say hyperbole is what you mean.
like this in the history of our country. And the election.
That's true. There's never been such a flagrant con man elected to the presidency, and that's saying a lot, Hoover.
Is over, the presidential election, and we have a big one tomorrow. But there's never been anything like this in the history of
Yeah, that's right. There's never been anything like a one-term impeached president
our country.
who owes $1.1 billion to the Russians and the Chinese. I'd be fighting to stay in office, too.
Our economy is coming back. It's roaring back.
Night,
Our
Laura.
stock market is an all-time high. Who would have thought that?
It's amazing how as soon as they called it for Biden, it cleared 30,000 because everybody in the stock market breathed a sigh of relief that we'll actually have a functioning economy.
rounding the turn because of what we did with the vaccines, and nobody else would have done it. It would have taken so long. The economy boomed at 33.4% last quarter. That's the fastest rate ever recorded, and we're talking about
I appreciate that, Wes.
pandemic. During a pandemic, we've already slashed the unemployment.
Yeah, while no one's home and everyone's savings would be worth shit, so they're putting it in the stock market, hoping for a rebound, gambling on it turning around. And by the way, the growth in the stock market, 6 companies are the majority of that growth. 6.
Unemployment rate in half. And for decades, our politicians spent trillions of dollars rebuilding foreign nations, fighting foreign wars, and defending foreign borders. You know, we're bringing many of our great troops home. I mean, I hate to say, but
You mean, yeah, from Germany. Thank God.
got to do it.
Yeah, you got to do it. I mean, you got to. Now, the troops that were in Syria, you said were coming home. They went to Saudi Arabia to Oh wait, crap! My headphones died. Terrible. Hold on. Do I have another? I have another pair around here. Oh, my ones are upstairs. Damn it! I think it just went one. We'll see.
We've been in Afghanistan for 19 years. I think that's enough. I think that's enough. We've got them a lot of, very few left, and very proud. Nothing worse than going to Dover and meeting the parents of our great warriors that have fallen, our great warriors coming home so badly wounded or dead.
Just touching how he has such a grasp. Oh, thank you, Teague. Merci beaucoup. Thank you for becoming an annual supporter.
And on countries that many of you have never even heard about. So we bring our soldiers home.
Really?
We've been incredible warriors. We can beat anybody. Nobody has our equipment. Nobody has our military. Nobody has our people. But
Nobody has our things. Nobody has our underwear. Nobody has our hats. Nobody has our chicken sandwiches. Nobody has the same. Nobody has any of the things. Nobody has our planes. Oh, nobody has our F-35s. Besides, the Saudis and Bahrain, and yeah, I'm gonna switch to these headphones because these are dying because I've been on so goddamn long today.
we aren't over there to be policemen. We're not over there to be policing. They're warriors. They're fighters. And that's what we want them for. That's what we have to have them for.
Jesus.
So we brought a lot of them home.
And you sent a bunch of them to Saudi Arabia to guard gas fields.
We are finally protecting our nation, rebuilding our cities, and we're bringing
Is it Infrastructure Week already? Shit.
our jobs, our factories, and our troops back to the USA where they belong. But everything that we've achieved together
Our debt, not so much.
is on the line tomorrow. Our fight to take back our country from the big donors, the big media,
The big donors.
and the horrendous big tech giants that are politicians, not these two politicians.
By the way, for all the one person who was like, we had a great economy under him. We entered a recession in February, and he doubled the deficit Obama had. If you can't pump the economy full of money and have it move, honestly, that's not actual economic growth. You're just artificially inflating. It's socialism, technically speaking, if you're talking about. Because part of the way that he inflated the economy while he doubled the deficit while he's been in office every single year, $1 trillion deficit, first president ever. The reason he was able to reach a $1 trillion deficit was because of him raising up the number of military contracts that were out there. And so ordering planes we didn't need, ordering ships we didn't need, and that kind of stuff, just doubling those things up to artificially pump up the economies in Wisconsin and other places. He was intending on winning in the election. Old-fashioned pork barrel projects where they just come back, go, hey, I brought this home. You should reelect me as your senator, that kind of stuff. But on a presidential level, we hit... And go look it up. We hit a recession in February because of his economic policies. We've had a $1 trillion deficit 3 years in a row. Double what happened under Obama, even recovering from the great downturn, however you want to refer to it. But please, tell me how awesome he is.
Are afraid to attack. Section 230, we have to get rid of Section 230 politicians.
Yeah, you're not going to.
Well, you're not going to have a country very long, taking away all your rights. If you want to send a message to the powerful forces that...
By the way, the Section 230 thing is why he allegedly didn't want to sign the NDAA. Why he really didn't was because of the new anti-money laundering laws that were in it.
Are trying to control your country. You must get out and vote tomorrow for David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler. With your help, we're going to continue.
Oh, he's rounding it out. We're almost done.
Our mission to save America, and we're going to continue our mission of America first. It's very simple. Each of us here tonight is united by the same core vision and the same timeless American values.
Thank you,
Together
Rhonda.
We believe that faith and family, not government and bureaucracy, are the center of American life. We will defend the right to life, religious liberty, free speech, and the right to keep and bear arms, which they want to.
That's right. We believe we're pro-life, so that people can grow up free, so you can shoot them.
Take away from you. And we will always support the heroes of law enforcement.
As I do every single time. You guys have seen me push back against any movement which denigrates people who work for a living. I have Ellie in my family. They work very hard. But you can do that and also deal with the fact that there are cops in every system that need to be kicked out. It endangers the lives of good cops.
We will maintain.
But that's a balanced conversation that adults have, not the hyperbolic bullshit where, by the way, his budget defunded police departments all over the country. There are federal funds that go to local police departments. He wanted those funds cut.
America's unrivaled military might, and we will preserve peace through strength. You know, when I first
Iran deal? We're going to talk about the
got
Iran.
elected, and before I got elected in 2015, and
Glory days, young girls' eyes, glory
2016,
days.
before
Thank
they
you,
were
Rhonda.
in debates, and everyone said, "Oh, he's going to cause wars. He's going to cause wars." I think I'm the only president in many, many decades that didn't get into a war. Right? Didn't cause. Remember North Korea? It was going to be a tremendous nuclear fight. And all
Yeah, and then they just ended up with nuclear submarines and ballistic missiles.
this. What happened with that? I got along very well with
You get great. You just kind of made buddy with him, and he's built and he's stockpiled his missiles,
Kim
hand over
Jong-un.
fist.
I don't think that Joe's going to, based on what I've heard, but I got along very well with him. And, you know, people say, whatever happened with North Korea? We got along well. But, you know, they all said that with my personality, I'll be in a big war very soon within the first 2 weeks. Right?
No.
What happened? What happened?
You gave $50 billion worth of weapons to 3 different countries that want to have war with Israel, and they've just agreed to wait until you're gone to start spreading those weapons all over the Middle East.
And they don't want to mess with us either, that I can tell you. David and Kelly will protect Social Security and Medicare, and they will always protect patients with pre-existing conditions.
How? I mean, we already know he doesn't have a way to do it, but how? How you gonna protect people with pre-existing conditions? What?
We will stop the radical indoctrination of our students and restore patriotic education to our schools.
Yeah, don't live the example of what makes America great and amazing, because that's too much work. I mean, you've got grifting and stuff. You're stealing from your supporters. You need Kelly and David Perdue are examples of kleptocracies. Living those standards and setting that example for children is too hard. So better to just, have a curriculum, kind of like Mao's Little Red Book,
We will teach our children to love our country,
whether they like it or not.
honor our history, and always respect our great American flag.
Well, if you're going to respect it, then you want it to stand for everything that it does in the Constitution. But if you just use it as a symbol of your party, then it loses a lot of its meaning.
And we will live by the words of our national motto, "In God we trust," and it'll stay that way.
Our national motto is E pluribus unum. From many comes one.
From
Okay,
Atlanta
thanks, Janine.
to Augusta, to Savannah, to Columbus, from Athens. And I want to say hello to Herschel Walker, Athens. Herschel. 10.2 yards a carry for a while. He made a lot of quarterbacks look very good. We love Herschel. To right here in Dalton, Georgia, we inherit the legacy of generations of American patriots who gave their blood, sweat, and tears to defend our country and to defend our freedom. We stand on the shoulders of American heroes who crossed the ocean,
He reads these with such depth and meaning.
settled the continent, tamed the wilderness, laid down the railroads, raised up the great skyscrapers, and won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism, and made America into the single greatest nation
Sorry, what was that again, Bone Spurs?
in the history of the world, and the best is yet to come.
It sounds better when Kimberly screams it. And by better, I mean more shrill and insane.
And proud citizens like you help build this country, and together we are taking back our country. Our fight to drain the Washington
I love his attempts at kind of emotional flair. I don't know why this comes across as like tough speak to people.
swamp and reclaim America's destiny and dignity has only just begun.
It's only just begun.
We will not bend, we will not break,
We will just fold.
we will not yield,
We will road rage our way through
we
America.
will
Because yielding is gay. Yielding is weak. Yielding is something that women do on off-ramps and on-ramps. Never yield. Always steamroll.
never give in, we will never give up, we will never back down, we
We will never reverse. We will never step to the side. All right.
will never ever surrender.
We will go to Turnberry on the 18th, though, and stay there and cry and tweet during the inauguration.
Because we are Americans, and we are from Georgia.
What? Because we are Americans, and we are from Georgia. Okay, first of all, you're not from Georgia. What are you talking about? What? You were doing so well.
Because we are Americans, and we are from Georgia.
Oh, are we? We are? I didn't realize, guys. Is Georgia the seat of America? And we are from Georgia, and also the Iraq,
and our hearts bleed red, white, and blue.
Please don't test that theory.
We are one movement, one people.
Trump is definitely one movement.
Captain's log.
People, one family.
We are Zoltan.
And one glorious nation under God. And together.
Why does he arch up when he says under God like there's a spider on his podium? You ever notice that? Whenever he says under God, he's like, oh.
Together with the incredible people of Georgia, we have.
Excuse me, what people of Georgia? We're all from Georgia. Didn't you just hear the president?
Made America powerful again.
Oh, Georgia, Russia. That's a good point.
Military. We have made America wealthy again.
Wealthy again. What? Look at
military.
that. Look at
we
this.
have made America wealthy again.
Wealthy again. Are his dentures slipping?
Military. We have made America wealthy again. Our stock market.
Wealthy again. Our stock market. But please tell me how Biden can't speak. What?
We have made America wealthy again. Our stock market.
Wealthy again? Wealthy again? What the hell?
We have made America wealthy again. Our stock market.
Wealthy again.
Okay. We have made America strong.
America? Jesus Christ, we're really falling apart.
Market. We have made America strong again. Look at that arm. Look at that. America strong again.
Strong again. Jesus, look at both of these in a row.
We have made America wealthy again. Our stock market. We have made America strong again. Look at that arm. Look at that.
Yeah, I'm not impressed. Honestly, seriously, my arm is bigger than yours, and you're at least 4 inches taller than me, even when you're lying.
We have made America proud again. We're proud of our country.
Okay, he got the word proud out. He didn't say plowed or anything. I think we should count it. Congratulations. He got the word plowed out.
Have made America safe again.
What is that whole like?
And we will make America.
Wait, what is it? He's gonna make backup. He's gonna make. I don't know what he's gonna say here. What could it possibly be?
Safe again. And we will make America great again. Go get him, David. Go get him, Kelly. Go get him.
Back. Da, ba, ba, da. Bam, bam, ba, da, ba, da, ba. Shmee. There you go. It took him long enough. Dong, dong, ding, dong. Hand job, jerk you off. Thank you. Clap, 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 clap. Not quite the beat, but I'll find it after a while. Thank you. And hello, people, get a thumb up your butt, and I'll jerk you off onto my forehead. And I'll wander over here and kinda clap, and I'll dance to the plane for what? Jerk it off. That's right, I'll even give a hand job to the flag. Hey, clap, 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 clap. Anyway, hey, over the hello. As long as you're not Mike Lee. Point, hi, point. Thank you, everybody. Hand job, clap, point, clap, point. Clap, 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 point. Thumb up your butt. Thank you. Thumb up the butt. Hand job in my ear. Thank you. Thumb, clap, 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 clap. Point. Bye. Hand job, double hand job. Jerking them off as I squirt into my ear and weird. What was that stirry moment? What was that business? And we'll do this. It's like you're in the shower with a bunch of men and squirt. Right, I see. Okay, I was getting confused. Because that's the moment we all found out that he bathes using one of those two-handed handle things because he can't reach himself. Sieg Heil, hand job, point. Thank you. Clap, 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 clap. Hand job. Just squirted in my eye. Point. Thank you very much, pointy people. Clap, 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 clap. Point. Clap, 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 clap. Point. That clap, yell, thumb up your butt, and point, clap, 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 clap. Okay, I'm done. Clappity clap. Bye, everybody. Clap, clap, clap. Point, clap. Hand job right in my eye. Hand job. Okay, I'm not feeling it tonight. I mean, it's just kind of a perfunctory, hand job. It's a 1940s kind of a hand job. Like, can we get this over with? Point, hand job, almost a Hitler salute, almost a Sieg Heil, saved himself with a hand job. And that's, way to break it out at the end. Clap, double hand job on my chest, right on my tie. Yay, you're so wonderful. Clap, clap. Look at that. Even this guy. Thumb up, wave, thumb, signal, thumb, but there you go. I'm learning the hand signals. These are all QAnon hand signals. These are all QAnon hand jobs. Wave, hand job. Clap. I'm over it. Hand job. Bye. Point. Clap. Walking. Thank you. Yelling. Thank you. Point. Clap. Okay. Double hand job. Look at that. What was this? Like a double crisscross hand job. They should up in it. Hand job. Clap. Clappity clap. Point. Clap. Hand job, thumb. Thumb you. Thumb you. Thumb you. Hand job, thumbing you, but hand jobbing you, and then you get the thumb, and that's double. That's a lot of work. He's going to throw his shoulder out. And gone. And Don Jr. runs straight up to tell him how awesome that was and how awesome it was, and it was totally viral and everybody loved it. I don't care what you say. Ivanka, how was it? And they leave to go eat dinner at some steakhouse in Georgia on the taxpayer, and they're going to leave in the helicopter, do a flyby as everybody gets left behind and never makes it to their bus. Make sure you get this on film, guys, because nobody is filming this. Oh, God. Well, that was brutal and a waste of time. And a troll fest, nonstop troll fest. That was fun. So that's adorable. I will say that the vast majority of the trolls that we had on Facebook tonight were largely folks who were just selling stuff. I'm very disappointed in the troll turnout tonight. We only had a couple of who the hell are you people show up on my own page on Facebook, which is weird. It's my page, so you don't have to be here. There's a lot of Facebook out there. There's a lot of things. You could be watching L. Linwood QAnon videos right now and learning so much information. But I thank you for coming here and helping inflate my numbers. I really want to thank you guys. especially Facebook. I mean, the Facebook trolls, you guys have been really, really bringing your A game with this. It's impressive. I think we all can agree on that. Let's see if there's any like long play out. And they're just going to go. Are they getting in the helicopter or are they getting in the car? They're getting in the helicopter. They're getting in the car. They're going this way, and then he's dovetailing. The guy's saluting. They're going to get in the helicopter and leave. And Ivanka's going with him, and Don's going in the car. Yeah, I don't even get to it. And she's got to walk back, chewing her gum, blowing it off. Yeah, man. Bye, dude, bro. See you later. Cool, that was awesome. I was totally backstage. It was swell. She's got to go up there and like wipe the thing down legally. Otherwise, they'll get fined by Georgia. Took the mask he never wore. Cherry pickers out of the way. There you go. Close that door, and off he goes. And they'll sip, sip, sip. And he just has to sit there while they play YMCA, and he doesn't get to enjoy it. Not a single. Well, the hand job he's getting in there, obviously. But I want to thank. Yeah, we only had 2, or 3 real, genuine trolls tonight. It was very disappointing. I mean, you guys need to just jump in there, and it's not enough to just do the "who the hell are you" thing. I understand it's in the troll handbook you get from your employer, but you got to be better than that. You know what I mean? Because it's not, that used to have oomph. You know what I mean? It's like that first hit of pot in college, I suppose. I've never done drugs, but I've heard stories that it really is like, wow, it's a wild thing. But after a while, it just doesn't give you the same hit. You need harder and harder stuff. We're in the same kind of situation with this. I really think you need to, up your game, come up with something new, I suppose. And just saying, I don't know what I'm talking about when I clearly know what I'm talking about, it's rough. I'm not embarrassed for me. I'm embarrassed for you. So, but I understand it's late at night. I'm normally on earlier. You must be exhausted. You've been trolling all day. It's, you guys, I mean, the regular folks who are in the chat, you guys have seen the trolling. You know what I'm talking about. You know the volume of stuff and how they try desperately. But I think we can honestly say amongst ourselves who are here as regulars, we've seen better. Trolls, we've seen a lot better. And it's not that I'm not angry. I'm disappointed. Yeah, we've done 24 hours straight and had waves of trolls from other countries roll through. And still nothing. So there you go. Yeah, they've gotten lazy. They're really just phoning it in. I mean, they're not getting paid the bucks that they were before. I mean, that's abundantly clear, right? But, we try, that kind of stuff. I mean, we're seeing a couple of them try to phone it in at the last second. But it's just not, I don't know. Keep trying, though. Come on, trolls, if you could. We're about to close out the show. So if you could really just bring your A game. Let's see what you really got. Come on. Because, I mean, it's not we appreciate it. We appreciate you being here because you inflate our numbers. Like I said, you're the cantaloupe in the fruit salad. You give it heft so that it looks like it's full of strawberries and grapes and slices of pineapple, but you're like, oh, it's really just a bunch of tart melon. It's kind of not that great. And I think I've been overcharged. But you're there, and you give heft to it. So come on, one big thing before you, come on, fly it out there. Give it. Let's hear. Yeah, let's bring your swan song. Make trolls great again. That's right. That's what we're trying to do today. That's how we know. You know what I mean? And it can't be Trump 2021. That's just kind of, I mean, even in the case that you believe he was going to win, that's still technically Trump 2020. I mean, are you expecting them to start running for Congress in 2022? You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't bear itself out. Yeah. Yeah, and if you're going to call me an ass, spell it correctly. You won't get kicked off Facebook for that word. It's in the Bible. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just disappointed. I really do. Yeah. Trolls 2020. See, there's something. Thanks, guys. And by the way, I love you guys as well. Trolls included. By the way, if you're in Georgia and you're of any political stripe, please vote tomorrow. unless you are, I guess, all in on what Trump says and you disregarding what I say, there's nothing I can say that will turn you around. But I think you should vote because I believe in democracy in America. And I know your party has kind of sold that down the river and the Ron Johnsons of the world who spent, I doubt any of you would spend 4th of July in Russia if you were a serving senator. You know what I mean? I doubt you would. I mean, your people do, but that's the thing. So it's a tough one. I'm waiting for. Is there anyone? Troll House cookies. That's good, actually. That was fun. Trolls, head softeners. Yeah, the RNC is, indicative of both Trump and the Republicans at large. And no, don't say Trumpers don't vote. Please vote. Everybody vote. I'm a stickler on this thing. Fort Fetus. Yeah, the trolls just bailed. That's just sad. Damn it. I feel like somehow I've let them down. God. Yeah, maybe they're on a schedule, and when we hit 9:30, they were like, shit, I've got to be on HN. I've got a circle jerk at 9:45. Yeah, we had about 3K just on Facebook, much less the 600 or so that were on there, and the 400 active that we had on Twitch the entire time. I mean, I'm getting like gamer numbers at this point. And I'm not even gaming. I'm like, I'm getting the kind of numbers that a guy who's a famous gamer gets when he just sits online while someone else plays Mario Kart eating chicken. And that's entertainment. By God. This is my gamer channel. It kind of is. I mean, it is a bit of a game. It's a political game, except unlike Call of Duty, in this game, I always win. 6.8 thousand comments. That's amazing. Thanks, guys. I love the fact that you're here all the time. 2.6K on Periscope alone. Man, not bad for a show that couldn't crack 10K in June, about a month and a half after we started this daily thing. I would say, wouldn't you? We're like 10 patrons away from 600, and we just cleared 500 for the first time. Bless your hearts! Right on New Year's Eve. Criminy! I must be providing a service, which I can't think of anything more irritating to trolls than that. That I can actually cheer you guys up, make you feel good, and understand this. Mike Pence will certify the Electoral College. And Joe Biden will be sworn in on the 20th. And if at least the story's straight, now granted, Trump may not be in Turnberry on the 19th. He may have just sent people over there because he knows even if he doesn't go, they're spending a shit ton of money at his property, landing planes nearby, and having everybody have to stay at Turnberry so he can, steal money from the taxpayer as much. I mean, honestly, the smart move, and I don't want to give any, Trump any good advice, as I often have been wont to do. Thank you, Lauren. Is tell everybody he's going to Turnberry. Then next week, spend most of the week at Bedminster, and then finish it out at Mar-a-Lago with the threat of leaving Mar-a-Lago for Scotland. So he'll have Secret Service and government employees for the last 2 weeks just spread out all over the goddamn place. And he'll make money off the taxpayer at each of those places, right? I mean, honestly, you guys are so lucky I'm not evil. Because this would be so easy. And thank God he's so stupid he hasn't even figured this out yet. Yes, Pence is screwed. But over the next he really could do that. Scotland will let him in. They will have to. He's the current sitting president in the United States. And until midnight on the 19th, noon on the 20th, but for all practical purposes. I love the idea that they might starve him out of the White House. We'll go into that backstory. It's not going to happen, but it's a fantastically wonderful tale. and we'll dive into it. But he actually thinks Wednesday is going to help him. It won't. It will not. And in many ways, this dicking around with Georgia is turning off his voter base, and that's why like Gabriel Sterling and these other people were out there saying, please vote, because they're Republicans themselves, and they know the numbers. They see the early voting numbers, and they know how far behind they are. So, yeah. I watched an old video where my hair was short. It wasn't that long ago, but it's getting there, baby. Look at that. I noticed today that it's like, in the back here, look at this. Look at this business. Look at that. That is past the third cervical vertebrae, man. That's right there. I'm past C123 right there, baby. That's impressive. That's the kind of thing when you lean your head back, it tickles the middle of your back. This is getting something serious. I'm not wearing ponytails, plural, for you. I'm not doing it. I don't need money that bad. Yet. We'll see how long this goes on. If the lockdown continues to kill comedy for a long time and no one can in any way find a way for us to perform live safely, then clearly, yeah. But it's not short by those standards, and I'm not going man bun either. Thank you, Robin. All right, I'm signing off. It's late. You guys are wonderful. I will see you guys tomorrow at the regular time. Tomorrow, I go to the gym in the morning, and so if I'm completely exhausted, you'll know why. But at the very least, you guys, I'm not man-bunning. I'm not going to do it. It's not going to happen. I know you like it. It's not going to happen. It's a little silly. Yeah, I think he's still holding out for World War II, but it's not going to happen, and he doesn't have the guts to start one. That's just that's another conversation, but we'll see that once Wednesday happens and he loses again, which he will, honestly, I'm not equivocating at all on that. Wednesday will come and go, just like the NDAA veto override, and all the wailing and gnashing of teeth about it will go with it. Once that happens, then we start to worry about him doing something genuinely nuts between now and the 16th. Because 3 days from, 3.5 days from swearing in of Biden, a lot of the stuff that he does will be, he's continuing to endanger himself. So it gets harder and harder as the time goes on. So there you go. Anyways, you guys are wonderful. We'll talk about that more, I have no doubt, because there'll be some more clamoring about it as we go on. But it's not going to happen. He's going to go and he'll whine a bunch and he'll be a noisy person on the right, but it'll effectively be replacing Rush Limbaugh because Rush is going to pass away this year. I do not wish illness or death on anyone, genuinely. But he's a mess. He's already announced he's not going to be long for this world. And basically, Trump envisions himself, along with others, taking over that space, whether it's not going to be a regular radio show, but being that person. I'm not going on OnlyFans just to put on a man bun. It's not going to happen. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care of yourselves and take care of somebody else. Chin up, smile. We're going to get through this. Be safe, wear a mask, socially distance, wash your hands, stay away, don't touch common surfaces and then touch your eyes, all that stuff. Be safe. See you soon. Okay, bye.